Okay, hope this thing's on. Welcome back to another prophecy stream. Stream is about prophecies of the second coming of the Lord Jesus Christ. I want to give all honor to the Father in the heavens above and watching over me and taking care of this stream. Now, I do these streams for atheists that don't believe, because nowadays it's prominent in America culture to not believe or to do what you want. Because if you tend to have a moral compass, or you say you read the Bible because you want to have guidelines and you want to make sure that your soul's okay, people have a problem with that nowadays. So that's what this stream's for. This stream is show hopefully turn atheists around from their downridden horrible path that they're on. So I come out and I find different videos to put an image to what's actually going on. Now this one's about controlled weather. Now, under no circumstance should I have to make a video about how bad weather control for the government is. But that's just another level of greed that we're in. We're on another path of greed, and now to control resources and control the hand of nature, the elements themselves. Now we have this. Now we have the government dealing with weather control. Okay? Check it out.
An uprising. Welcome to today's show. I cover weather manipulation,
And you know what? This was a week ago. It's 42,000 views. I want to give a shout out to a call for an uprising. Check out his streams or check out his videos, his page. Go to YouTube, type in a call for an uprising, and check that guy's videos out. This guy does a lot of research, and I just hope I hope to see some of my I hope some of my trolls get to see this video, because this is where we're standing at in this society. Now we have to control the elements. Okay? Hold on.
Engineering and all those types of things on this channel. I recently talked about just the abnormal weather conditions that we're seeing, the tornadoes just popping up all over the place. And
wow. Now, a few streams ago, I was talking about how there was over 50 tornadoes that touched down in middle America. Okay? It ran across 8 states. So, my name is not the same name as the PlayStation. If you go to YouTube, check out John Cage, Mark of the Beast. That's my page. John Cage. Go to the stream before this, or it may have been the stream before that. And I put up the video. In fact, I may go into it in a little bit, but I have so much to show, I don't even know if I'm going to get to it. So try to get back go to my page and try to catch up on some of my last streams. If you can't, you can't. I don't have no reason to lie. There was over 50 tornadoes that already touched down. So this is why I'm showing this video. Okay?
This article just popped up on CNN, which is just more social engineering, more conditioning. What it does is it just prepares people when this stuff happens, for when it happens, to just be like, oh yeah, it's normal, by hearing about it in advance, because they know a lot of people are waking up and questioning the weather because there's too much information out there that shows us that they can control and manipulate weather, from HARP, from JFK.
Now I know it's kind of close, but it says hurricane season's here. Brace yourself for up to 4 major storms in the Atlantic. Now, how would they know that 4 major storms is about to accelerate when they haven't even begun yet? Huh?
Talking about it, from Disney talking about it, from the government talking about it, from government officials talking about having the capability to weaponize weather. that what they need to do is in advance do stuff like this so that when abnormal weather patterns develop, which they have planned out, people will go, well, experts predicted it in advance. And that's what this whole article is. Hurricane season is here. Brace yourself for up to 4 major storms in the Atlantic. Weather season starts, just so you know, hurricane season starts and runs through November 30th. So they're predicting 4 major storms between now and November 30th. How would they know? The storms haven't even developed yet, right? We know that there's going to be a hurricane on September 2nd, right over Florida.
Now, for all the people that have no problem with this, why don't you? Now, if they can control the weather, they can control mudslides, they can control floods, they can control the rain above your head, they can control the clouds, the elements. Now, where's the protest about this? How come nobody actually has an issue with this, huh?
How would you know? How? And the article is just so contradicting. It says forecasters may not be expecting a severe hurricane season this year, but a few major storms could still threaten the Atlantic coast. Also, they're not expecting a severe hurricane season this year, but the headline says, brace yourself for up to 4 major storms in the Atlantic. I mean...
Okay? Now, if they can cause devastation like this, because after a storm, you have to rebuild. Once they cause that devastation, what does that do to the economy? Huh? Does that make the economy rebound from having to pull money out of wherever it's pulling from in order for them to fund rebuilding certain areas? Huh? Do you see the detriment that happened to Puerto Rico, and the president of the United States started tossing out paper towels? Huh?
Really? The Atlantic hurricane season officially kicks off Saturday, even after subtropical storm Andrea briefly spun up near Bermuda last week and will run through November 30th. The nation's top hurricane forecasters have predicted a near normal season with a lot of storms, 9 to 15 named storms. So they've already decided that they're going to name these storms, which haven't even formed yet, which just shows you how ridiculous this is. But this is seed planting. This is how it works. Right? We don't know if there's going to be hurricane. I mean, this is one of those other things, too, right? Nobody thinks about. When these storms come, they've always got a name, right? It's like, who's picking the name? They're sitting down and saying, they pre-pick this stuff because they know when they're going to come. 9 to 15.
Now, this is truly outrageous. Am I the only one that's getting irate about this? Why isn't anyone doing streams about this? Why isn't anyone talking about this? Now, they name these storms before the storms they've even created. So that means that they're causing the wreckage that's actually happening. So some people say, well, if God exists, how come we have storms and people are homeless? How come little babies get killed in storms? And no. This is at the hands of man. Man is starting to devastate them own selves, and eventually God's hand, God's wrath comes upon the earth for greed and for hatred. For hatred and greed, okay?
15 named storms. How would they know? What if there's no storms? Right? Well, of course there will be. How do we know that? Well, not only because of the predictive programming.
Wait. God don't exist, right? Okay. Because I was watching another guy. I don't even really want to bring him up on the channel, but you know what? I don't really hate the dude, but he believes that as a collective, we can control the weather and the earth. He believes that as a collective, we can control the rotation of the earth and whether it rains or not. Now, what my problem with this is back in Stone Age time, medieval times, they were worshiping sun gods, rain gods, water gods, all types of gods in order for them to get what they needed or what they felt that the land needed. They would worship a god for their crops and hope that their crops would be good. You see what I mean? So there was already enough people conglomerating back in the Stone Age. And before before we had internet, Wi-Fi, they was already conglomerating, and they couldn't get the job done. I wonder why that was. Obviously, there must have been a higher hand at power, right?
This has been on their agenda. That's why the weather has been so out of control with destroying Texas, with what we've seen, in New Jersey, Florida.
I'm telling
obviously
you,
Katrina.
I'm telling you, this guy, now, because I don't want to say on this. This is just to show you the level of greed, the level of arrogance that we're at, where we're now controlling or feeling like we control the rain, or we feel like we can control hurricanes or tornadoes. All right, that's what this was for. So whenever you get the chance, try to check this gentleman's channel out. A Call for an Uprising. He has a lot of good things on his thing, and he said I could share. I'm gonna try to show. I'm gonna show as much as I can show, but I'm not gonna stay on this topic. He has many topics. He talks about American Horror Story. That's what I'm saying. Like, maybe I'm on a different side of YouTube, right? I must be on the weirdo side of YouTube because I'm seeing actual current events. Like this. This is actually on the Doppler weather station. Okay, this is the Weather Channel or whatever. Okay, now hold on. I'm gonna go back to the other one because we got to get to that dude too, because that's the guy that I really want to get to. Hold on, because this dude talk about doing his homework. This guy, he's always constantly doing his homework. Check this out.
I am asking that if you can, to please help to fund.
Yeah. And as I always promote, if you can't give to this guy, just pray for him. But if you can, hey, go to his channel, go to the Watchman, type in the Watchman in the YouTube search, go to his channel, subscribe, and see if his Patreon or PayPal comes up. Pass him instead, because people are donating the streamers that's eating Jello or pudding and making goddamn dirty Sanchez's on their faces. So I don't understand why we can't actually donate or support somebody that actually needs it, right?
Age will become more frequent and more intense. All of these signs are manifesting around the world in our time.
Check this out. Here we go.
President Trump will meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese President Xi Jinping at the G20 summit in Japan next month. Now, this meeting comes amid an escalation of what author Jim Sciutto calls a new type of warfare. His new book, it's called The Shadow War Inside Russia's and China's Secret Operations.
Well, let me tell you one thing. If they're now starting to make books like this, talking about war, you may as well start reading the Bible. That's it. We need to start reading the Bible because the Bible already speaks about the fact that, in fact, I don't even have to tell you. This guy's going to tell you. But the way they tell you in this news segment is like Russia, China, and America are all going at it. No. I want you to be the first to know. Because I'm one of many people that already said this. But I just want you to know that if you think that China and Russia are working hand in hand, I got a bridge to sell you. That's it. Because they're both on the same side of the world. You think if they have a war, America would actually care? Hell no. Because that's on their side of the planet. Whereas America got a problem with China and Russia. So you don't think they're talking behind America's back and saying, hey, I think something's about to go down. Now, on the cover of this thing, it says, inside Russia's and China's secret operations to defeat America. Now, listen to this guy, and he makes it sound like they're all at the table trying to kill each other with forks. No. The other two are working together. They're looking to aim, okay?
to defeat America, and it's on big time. It highlights tactics, he says, both countries use to attack the U.S. and its allies, but fall below the threshold of starting a shooting war. Try saying that 3 times. Shudo is CNN's chief national security correspondent and anchor.
Now, a shooting war. What kind of a shooting war are they going to be doing? Huh? They're going to be just shooting bullets? And you know, some people, you know, you may read Jeremiah 50 verse 9 and you say, no, they go shoot arrows. Okay, so if you're that far gone, just remove yourself. That's it. Remove yourself. You don't have to be here, and that's okay. All right.
He's also served as chief of staff to America's ambassador to China from 2011 to 2013, and we're delighted that you're at the table, Mr. Yang.
Great to be here. Thanks so much for having me.
So we all have heard the term Cold War, trade war, but the shadow war is a different kind of animal, you say, and they use very different tactics.
And what gets me, hold on, before we get into this, what gets me is people feel like since they're in Germany that it's not going to affect them. They're in Australia, it's not going to affect them. For some reason, they're not understanding that this is going to be World War. Okay? World War III. Now, anything that usually comes in threes is usually bad. Okay? Or sometimes they made it now where they can say 3rd time's a charm. So now, if we went through 2 wars that brought in damn near every country except for a few, what's World War III going to do if the 3rd time's a charm, huh?
Right? It is. It's a war that they are waging, Russia and China are waging on the U.S., and we're not fighting back, and only very recently came to terms with it. And I think Americans are aware of some of the fronts of this war, certainly election interference, which continues, but they're not aware of others. Russia and China have both put weapons in space, lasers, kamikaze satellites, kidnapper satellites. China...
Maybe you may want to rewind that. Excuse me. Why do they have satellites that kidnap satellites? Is there a little Martian inside the satellite that pops out of the satellite and grabs the other satellite and brings it in? Huh?
Develop a satellite that can grab...
Hold on. We got to go back. Listen to this.
They're aware of some of the fronts of this war, certainly election interference, which continues, but they're not aware of others. Russia and China have both put weapons in space, lasers, kamikaze satellites, kidnap...
Lasers and kamikaze satellites. Now, this guy is an American journalist. If this is fake news, what do the Americans have? What do they have up there that could potentially kill a large populace? Huh? Anything. Okay, now, why would Russia and China be putting satellites that can kidnap other satellites? I would be one to say, for the fact that they know that their missiles are guided through satellites. So they said, well, if we fuck up their satellites and the formation of their satellites, we may scramble their missiles and their missiles may not. So, like I said in a stream long ago, because somebody came in my room and actually had the nerve to say, hey, you know, what if we actually do get to strike back? We're going to strike them. They're not going to hit us. Are you sure? Because they have satellites that are captivating or stealing other satellites. And I would figure that the missile that's being guided to its target is being guided off a global position satellite, right? Okay, hold on. Listen again. Crazy.
They're aware of some of the fronts of this war, certainly election interference, which continues, but they're not aware of others. Russia and China have both put weapons in space, lasers, kamikaze satellites, kidnapper satellites. China has developed a satellite that can grab other satellites out of orbit. These are satellites.
Now, is it doing it with the alien hand? Huh? How is this happening? Now, like I just said, if the missiles that we use are being guided by GPS and they have a satellite up there that's stealing other satellites, where do our missiles go? If we're even able to launch, okay? Because if an EMP happens, is not our nuclear arsenal reliant upon electricity? So if they do an EMP pulse and shut down all the electric grid, what happens to the arsenal that we have, the nuclear arsenal? And if it does go in the air, let's just say that we do launch and we're actually able to retaliate. What happens to the satellites? If they have satellites, for one, they have satellites that could disrupt your global positioning. So they could change the trajectory of the missile, for one. For two, he also said there's lasers out there. So as soon as they see one of these things in flight, we don't have hypersonic dodging missiles or missiles that dodge interception and stuff like that. We have just as basic and regular as is our electrical grid. That's our arsenal, okay? So everybody else is upgrading this stuff and making it look nice. Now we can sit there and say, oh, well, what if we got a secret weapon? Well, I'm pretty sure by now somebody would have said something about the secrets, because they're always letting the terrorists know how they can break in. They can hack this, or they could poison that, or they could do this, or they could spread waves through that. So where are we, huh?
We depend on for the way we live every day of our lives, GPS, etc., but also the military does, crucially. There's a new great game under the waves, submarine warfare between the U.S., Russia, and China.
No one's seen that one. No one's seen that one coming. What happened to that? For one, if it's an underwater war, what would be the signs of it? How would you know that somebody just shot another submarine? You wouldn't even know, for one. For two, why is Russia making a torpedo, a nuclear torpedo? For two, how far behind do you think China is? Do you think China's just being lax? You think China's not caring? You think China's just, I don't care, huh? These are all reasons that we should start praying and start reading our Bible. Now, I already understand that there's a few people out there that don't want to do it. I understand that that's going to be a hard cause to get people to start doing it. But you know what? I can suggest it. I can start showing you this. And hopefully, if you have common sense, you start taking some seriousness to it. Because if you think that this is a joke for any means, let's check this guy out again. Because you know what? I'm so tired of hearing fake news. Hey, you know what? Fake news is someone stole your newspaper and your newspaper's outside. That's fake news. This isn't fake news. These people, these war strategies are now being talked. These war games are now being played. The drills are actually happening. The boats are on the sea, the planes are in the air, and the war games are beginning. So this isn't no joke. This ain't no false flag. This ain't no fake news. This ain't nothing. This is some real stuff. And this is time to get in line with the Lord. Plain and simple. If anyone remembers the doomsday clock, I would say we're mere seconds away now. Okay? That's it. All right? Once we start talking like this, and once we have a book, because everyone says, I don't read the Bible because the Bible's doom and gloom, or the Bible's a fairy tale. Well, is this a fairy tale? This guy just made a book called The Shadow War. Now, it says, inside Russia and China's secret operations to defeat America. How are they going to defeat America? You think they're just going to come out with some new cars and come out with some new planes? Hell no. They're going to blow this motherfucker to smithereens, and that's what's going to happen. Now, you can either get right with the Lord because you know you're going to meet your maker eventually, or you're going to just sit there and say, you know what? Whatever happens, happens. It'll just pan out. And then you'll have no border, no guidance, and anything allows in. That's what happened to this country. This country said, hey, we need to be more tolerant. And the more tolerant we became, we started letting hobos into the house. We started letting gay people into the house. And next thing you know, the house ain't even yours no more. You can't even touch certain things in the house because you don't know who it belongs to. So now, that's why we're here. That's why we're in the predicament we're in. Just like I said, racism and greed. Racism and greed, which is, I could take racism and turn it to hate, because that's what it is ultimately. Racism is hate. So hate and greed is why we're now looking at a shadow war. These people feel like they have to defend themselves against America. They got to find a way to defeat America, okay?
America, and it's on big time. It highlights.
She said it's on big time. How come? Look, what does it say right there on your screen? USA and Bible prophecy. How come nobody's promoting the Bible, but everybody coming out with a new book or a new translation of the Bible? Huh? What's up with that? And I just seen Dark Phoenix. How come everybody's possessed? Huh? Everybody's goddamn possessed. Venom was possessed. The symbiote took over Eddie Brock to the point that he was speaking to him in his head. All right? So that's supposed to be an anti-hero or a superhero because he's from Marvel Comics. These were supposed to be superheroes at one point. Now they're possessed. The Dark Phoenix was possessed by a goddamn flame. Okay? So this is where we're at. All right? I don't know why people ain't picking up their Bibles. That's up to you at the end of the day. I'm sure looking for one of my trolls to come in. Please, if Sir Raiders here, put something in the chat because I would love to see one of y'all here because I'm trying to understand why we're here and you're trying to tell me that we're not.
Tactics, he says, both countries use to attack the U.S. and its allies, but fall below the threshold of starting a shooting war. Try saying that 3 times. Shudo is CNN's chief national security correspondent and anchor.
No. He said, look, you heard what he said. He's just said that this is just, all the stuff that they do, all the war is so they don't start shooting. No, this is an accumulation. Everything that everyone's doing is going to lead up to the nuclear exchange. Okay? So that's what I'm trying to show you.
He's also served as chief of staff to America's ambassador to China from 2011 to 2013, and we're delighted that you're at the table, Mr. Jack.
Great to be here. Thanks so much for having me.
Yep. Because some people come in the room and they look at the bottom of the screen and they say, oh, rants of a madman, doing joy. Okay, yeah, but this ain't a madman, okay? This guy is an actual experienced person from what they say, okay? He has a background that he came from. So now let's listen to what he's got to say all over again.
So we all have heard the term Cold War, trade war, but the shadow war is a different kind of animal, you say, and they use very different tactics, like?
It is. It's a war that they are waging, Russia and China are waging on the U.S., and we're not fighting back, and only very recently came to terms with it. And I think Americans are aware of some of the fronts of this war, certainly election interference, which continues, but they're not aware of others. Russia and China have both put weapons in space. Lasers, kamikaze satellites, kidnapper satellites. China has developed a satellite that can grab other satellites out of orbit. These are satellites we depend on for the way we live every day of our lives, GPS, etc., but also the military does, crucially. There's a new great game under the waves, submarine warfare between the U.S., Russia, and China.
Okay, so now that's what my problem is. If I'm so paranoid, and if the Bible's not real, why are they having war on 3 fronts? He just said the elections, he just said in space, and he just said underwater. Now, we may not be seeing it on our landscape, but there's a war actually happening, okay? They're trying not to exchange nukes because they're doing it for the populace. But if this is all leading up or accumulating to that boiling point, why not? Why not get on your knees and pray to God? Why not believe in God? I seen another stream. This guy said, I believe in you. Yo, I can't save you. If a tree was falling, you better move out the way. What are you talking about? Hey, God gave you a brain. You better use it. Common sense. Now, if you know this is way out of your hand, if you know that you can't do nothing after you die, all you're going to do is meet your maker, why not make a personal connection with him? Why not try to get to know your maker? What's going on?
Submarines, they're quieter.
This is insane. You know what? And if you don't want to stay in the stream, don't stay in the stream. But this got to be played over and over. You know why? Because that's 3 different fronts. He said the elections. So we already know that the president is compromised. We're on to that one, okay? If you don't believe me, check some of my streams out, okay? John Cage, Mark of the Beast. Go to YouTube and put that in. You'll get to my page. Either way, that we already know the president's compromised. Then we have a space war, lasers. Nobody told us about this. Yo, the only time I remember seeing something like that was Call of Duty Ghosts. Y'all remember Odin came down or the rod of God? And they supposedly actually have a device like that. So now they have rods that they can shoot down, but he didn't say that. He said lasers, and he said kidnapping satellites. Then he said something about the underwater. Hold on. No. And then, triggering tsunamis. So Russia also has a nuclear device called the Poseidon that can obliterate a coastal line city. Now, depending on where it's actually aimed at, because I think they said it can take out a whole coast. But you know what? Do the research, just in case I may be telling you something wrong and you think that I'm bugged out. You actually believe that I'm a madman. I typed it up there just to see what other people was going to tell me. But you know what? Go check it out. Check out what Poseidon does to a coastal line city and what it's supposed to do to a port. Okay?
On the U.S. and we're not fighting back, and only very recently came to terms with.
Now, that's where we go back to the elections. Why aren't we fighting back? Why aren't we making newer artillery? And why is he pulling out of every nuclear treaty that we have? Why is that? Obviously, somebody's promoting this to happen. Obviously, somebody wants annihilation to occur. Okay?
And I think Americans are aware of some of the fronts of this war, certainly election interference, which continues, but they're not aware of others. Russia and China have both put weapons in space. Lasers, kamikaze satellites, kidnapper satellites. China has developed a satellite that can grab other satellites out of orbit. These are
okay. Wait. That goes back to the fake news or the propaganda. Now, propaganda was usually something that benefited America. You see what I mean? Like join the army or become one with the. Now they're telling us that America can be obliterated. So is that really American propaganda? You see what I mean? Like they're telling us that the other countries have the upper hand. So I don't know if this is propaganda at this point. Propaganda used to be something that actually promoted the country that it came from. You know, it was something that exalted that country. Well, now they're telling us that two countries are coming against us. So I don't know. I don't really consider that propaganda, but that's my take. You know. Oh, okay. You know what? Go ahead. For one, don't come in my goddamn room. Don't tell me what to do on my channel. For one, if you don't like it, get out the room. But for two, you know what? I'm gonna let you make your own decision. But you better get right with God. Plain and simple. That's what this stream is about. Anyone that subbed to me or actually watches these streams, I believe in God. I believe the second coming is nigh. I believe the kingdom of God is at hand. And I believe that all that is wicked or hateful and greedy are going to be obliterated from the planet. So, plain and simple. That's my mind. That's why I made this channel. You feel a certain way? Go make your own channel. Plain and simple.
Depend on for the way we live every day of our lives. On the U.S.
I'm sorry. I talk on my channel. I interact with the people I see on my stream. Okay. Plain and simple. So if you don't like what just play the tape. I want to see it. Get out. Bye. I don't need you here. Okay.
And only very recently came to terms with it. And I think Americans are aware of some of the fronts of this war, certainly election interference, which continues, but they're not aware of others. Russia and China have both put weapons in space. Lasers, kamikaze satellites, kidnapper satellites. China has developed a satellite that can grab other satellites out of orbit. These are satellites we depend on for the way we live.
Now, Mr. Cullen, please tell me how that's propaganda. Is that pushing us to say that's why we have to war with China? Because China already has their military, and it outlands or outweighs the American military. And Russia's they're already eye to eye, if not a little bit taller than us in the nuclear department. So how is that propaganda? I don't hear how this is propagating America, or how is this sounds very bad.
Of our lives, GPS, etc., but also the military does, crucially. There is a new great game under the waves. submarine warfare between the U.S., Russia, and China. Submarines, they're quieter, they're getting closer to U.S. shores. That's a way to project nuclear power without warning right up to the U.S. homeland.
And what are they trying to
Multi-front
get,
war.
Jim, what are they trying to get? And you point out in the book that we don't seem prepared for what is happening to us.
No question. They're trying, in China's case, they're trying outright to surpass the U.S. This is not a secret. They say it publicly in speeches. It's in their...
But for years, everything we got says made in China. So, yeah, you know what? War, it takes a sick, twisted individual to feel like, and I'm not talking about you, Mr. Cullen, but that's just the way the world works. Somebody in their twisted, nasty mind thought that war is big money or war is economy. We could sell the weapons, then they'll have to pay us for resources to rebuild, and then they're gonna need more jobs because people are gonna be dead, and wild stuff. So everybody's guilty, and this is what's bringing apart the hand of God. This is why tribulation or judgment is coming upon the earth, plain and simple. So that's why I constantly say on this channel, we need to make a connection with God, where we need to start reading the Bible, not going to church and having somebody read it to us. We actually have to start making a connection with God. And if you don't understand it, then you go to somebody. That's when you go to the church and you try to, and there's a lot of people in church that's not talking about this. There's a lot of people in church that don't know what's going on. So now you got to watch out. It's so hard. Make a connection. Make a connection with God. Try to read on your own, and hopefully you get to the place you need to be. Everything will line up. Whoever's supposed to hear this, they'll hear it. Whoever's not, whoever gets mad and says, you talk too much, they're going to move and they're going to go. There was just one person in here. I have no problem with that. I love when people actually come and watch my streams, but if the person gets mad that I talk, then don't watch. Plain and simple. I like interacting with my streamers. Plain and simple.
Documents, their national security documents. They want to achieve what they view as their rightful place on top of the world. And almost invariably, national security folks will say China is the bigger of the two threats. But Russia, very big threat. And theirs is more of a zero-sum game. Any opportunity to stick their finger in the eye of the United States, they view as a win.
Now, for years, they've been saying that Russia was the big bully. And they've been calling Russia the bear. And they was like, "What? Let's not wake the sleeping giant." For some reason now they're saying, no, China's the actual big threat. China has a bigger military. China does have a nuclear arsenal. China's very technology savvy. Okay, they got their hands in all parts of technology. Hey, you know what? You know when I realized that when I realized that American society was kind of relaxed. I think I was like 15 and I met somebody, I think they were from either Japan or China, and they was like, yeah, in our country we go to school 6 days a week. And I was like, what? Why you go to school 6 days a week? And they was like, nah, that's just the way we grew up. We go to school 6 days a week. They didn't know how to explain it. But to me, now that I look, that's more intelligent. Now, don't get me wrong. They do have smart devices over there and stuff. But who made their smart devices? They made their smart devices themselves. Whereas when you get over here, everything's made from them. Everything's made from China. So why are they in control of our defenses? How come they can actually shut off our gas line or snatch a satellite out of space? Huh? Why is that? How is that possible? How come nobody, no scientists, nobody came here and said, you know what, we got to do something for America, okay?
The FBI director last year, and you think about what the FBI does in terms of countering terrorist threats. He said his top counterintelligence priority is China. How many spies, Chinese spies, are in America trying to steal and commit economic espionage?
How many spies in general? How many Russian spies? How many Arab spies? Iranian spies? And now they're asking how many Chinese spies? Okay, check it.
Thousands here, and I spoke to the FBI's former head of counterintelligence. and tens of thousands in China. I mean, he talked about it in terms of they have a national service program almost for smart young people there to hack their way into U.S. public and private sector secrets, and they do it with enormous success.
They're stealing.
Now, what happened with that blackout of Sony? Anybody remember Sony's blackout when they actually got hacked and we couldn't get onto the PSN because it kept shutting down and the firewall wasn't working or whatever the hell, and then all of a sudden they came out and they said some people's personal information got stolen or swiped? How was that? And they just said that some of their young people, so instead of playing video games over there, instead of sitting there relaxing, scrolling your phone or doing whatever you do as a hobby, they're teaching their people a hobby of how to do espionage. You understand? They're learning espionage.
Seed technology, agriculture technology, medical technology.
Artificial intelligence, but also crucially national security technology. I have a chapter in the book about how over the course of 4 years before...
They have hackers to rig the elections. Putin already scoffed at that. He laughed. He was like, we didn't have nothing to do. And the way I took it, the way he laughed and the way I took it, he knew what happened, but he's not going to tell what happened. Okay? So I remember before Trump got in, they were saying if Hillary gets in, she has such a bad rapport with Putin that we would be in World War. It would just automatically kick off because Hillary didn't have no border with herself. If she didn't like something, she would state it. So Putin didn't like that because you don't know when the war could kick off. Whereas Trump has a nice rapport with Putin. Trump and Putin were friends at one point. They were shaking hands. He told his translator he didn't need him for the conversation. He sent the translator away and let Putin talk in Russian. There was a whole nice little thing about Trump working with Putin. Okay, plain and simple. So that's how I feel they rigged the elections. They've put Trump, and you know what? You don't have to believe me. Why was this once a topic? Why was people saying that Trump was aligned with the Russians? Why were they saying that? And this is what this guy just said. This guy just said that they have a way to rig the elections. Now, you can sit there and say, okay, well, how they got weapons in space? I'm not a rocket science. I'm just listening to what the hell. Now, you can say that this is propaganda, and you can believe it all you want, but I do believe war tensions are rising. So, if they are rising, you don't think that they have a massive artillery?
They were detected. A small team of 4 people stole secrets about the F-35, the C-17, and the F-22. And today, China is flying planes that look remarkably like those planes.
Yeah. So, Jim, give us some context in terms of before 9/11, there were people who were saying, connect the dots, and there were other people who were asleep at the switch, to mix my metaphors. In this case, do people know the threat is real and they're just trying to catch up, or are they still blind to the nature of the threat?
It took time. It was belated, but they know it today. I spent time out in the field. This is the way U.S. submarine commanders talk about the conflict today. It's the way people in the NSA operations centers fighting cyber attacks every day. It's the way they talk about it. It's the way U.S. diplomats in Ukraine, etc. It is not the way the U.S. president talks about this threat. He will not publicly identify. In fact, alarmingly, he will often sound very much like Russia on these points.
But what's the practical result of that, though? Because when you, as you know, when you talk to officials, they'll say, forget the rhetoric, we're on the case here, and the rhetoric doesn't matter.
Well, folks, and to be clear, in this book, I spread the blame around because through multiple administrations, Republican and Democratic parties missed signals over time. Everybody thought they could get it right. The Bush administration thought they could get it right. Obama thought he could get it right. Saw the light later. Trump administration, not unusual in that respect. Unusual, though, in that when you see the hostility, the president still won't recognize it and state it publicly. And everybody across the board says the U.S. cannot win this war.
Now, that's another problem. How can your pedestrians, how can your citizens see a problem with another country or another village and you're oblivious to it, to the fact that you don't even care? That's why I say he was compromised. So any of you supporters out there, please put in the comments and let me know why our great guy who's going to make this place great again is not caring about the devastation that's about to hit this place.
Or defend itself properly without leadership from the top, and they don't have any leadership from the top.
Will this trade war with China...
What? You don't have no leadership from the top? Nah, some people was up there cheering Trump on. They're saying that's our president, okay?
Though, in that when you see the hostility, the president still won't recognize it and state it publicly. And everybody across the board says the U.S. cannot win this war, defend itself properly without leadership from the top, and they don't have any leadership from the top.
Will this trade war with China make this worse?
Well, this is the thing, and again, credit where credit is.
The trade war is every time he keeps on talking about he's putting more tariffs or he's putting another sanction. Yo, you know what? For years, America's been known for nothing but sanctions. Okay, if somebody made them mad, sanction them. Make sure that they don't get no rice, or they don't get no coal, or they don't get this. Don't send no ships over there, because if you do, that'll be an act of war. Okay, so that's what the sanction is. So if I sanction your house, you can't have no more bread. If I see a loaf of bread going there, somebody's either going to come and confiscate it, or we're going to go to war. So that's what a sanction is. He's sanctioning so many people. They sanctioned Saudi Arabia. Once he was in, the sanctions were out. Do you understand? He started sanctioning North Korea, South Korea. He sanctioned China. He's sanctioning Iran. He'll sanction Russia. He'll sanction all these people. Okay? So that's why these people are getting mad finally, and they're saying, you know what? Enough's enough. I'm tired of the bully. Now we need to unify, and we need to blacken this dude's eye and break a few ribs.
Publicly, and everybody across the board says the U.S. cannot win this war, defend itself properly without leadership from the top, and they don't have any leadership from the top.
Will this trade war with China make this worse?
Well, this is the thing, and again, credit where credit is due. The president is confronting China, for instance, on the theft of trade secrets, to a degree that previous administrations would not. They knew about it, but they said, listen, we could get it right, bring them into the fold, they would change their behavior. They have not. The president is confronting. The trouble is, what the president is asking China to do is to change its economic model, its state model. This is the way it has achieved success in its view. When you battle like that and both have advantages, will China back down? I'll tell you, we have
another import tariff, annual value $300 billion, includes ceramic tiles, baby formula, flashlights, and orange juice. Okay, so these are imports. Okay, so this is what we may not get now because we put that 25% tariff on them. So we may not be getting ceramic tiles, baby formula, flashlights, and orange juice. Okay, this is where we're standing. And now, just like they said, the approximate value, this is what we're supposed to be sending to China. And this is what we're supposed to be getting back, I believe, because that's the import. So if you don't think that we're not getting nowhere close, check it out.
Domestic politics, so does China. The last thing a Chinese leader is going to want to do is be seen as backing down to the U.S. president.
Help people understand why presidential leadership is so important. Without it, what doesn't happen?
Well, things like allocation of resources, making decisions to counter the threat, defending U.S. assets, taking, where necessary, offensive steps to counter this threat. That requires presidential leadership. It matters that this president has only had one cabinet-level discussion of election security. That's a problem.
Only one.
Only one. It matters that this president, you heard this from Kirstjen Nielsen as she left, it matters that this president, that his senior advisors can't even bring up the issue of election interference with him because he won't go there.
Yeah. You made a point of saying you're not writing this book for politics. You're writing it, you said at the end, as a concerned American. I was very...
Now, if I didn't put this up and you didn't see it through this channel, would you have seen it? And am I really pumping fear porn or fear stream or fear, and they're actually putting this on the news? Am I giving you propaganda? Because this is actually world news at this point. Even though people want to say it's fake news or this ain't real, this is actually really happening, okay? This is on the news. I don't see no clown in the back. I don't see no pink elephants. I don't see nothing signifying that this is fake news. There's nothing about this that's fake. So, why aren't we still getting on our knees praying to God? Why do we feel like we can only save each other? Because once that thing is a weapon of mass destruction. A weapon of mass destruction. Okay? Mass is a lot of people.
Touched by that.
I am. I spent years in Russia and China and seeing each front of this war.
And the Trump supporters ain't getting away that quick. Why is yeah, bring the Trump. If you're a Trump supporter, bring your ass back here, boy. You gotta explain this. You gotta explain this. How come he ain't finding none of this shit serious? Why isn't he finding any of these threats to the country serious?
Has achieved success in its view. When you battle like that and both have advantages, will China back down? I'll tell you, we have internal domestic politics, so does China. The last thing a Chinese leader is going to want to do is be seen as backing down to the U.S. president.
Help people understand why presidential leadership is so important. Without it, what doesn't happen?
Well, things like allocation of resources, making decisions to counter the threat, defending U.S. assets, taking, where necessary, offensive steps to counter this threat.
Yo, Tyrone, you are so true. Thank you. Thank you for adding that your comments to the stream. Plain and simple, judgment is coming upon America for slavery and for hatred and greed. Don't feel too bad over there, Mr. Cullen, because wherever you're at, this is going to be world war, okay? World war. This is not only for the U.S. The U.S. will be heavily obliterated. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I'm safe in no sense, but be careful of wherever you at. Because don't think Switzerland, don't think Germany safe, don't think Poland safe, because them places could be, you could have nuclear fallout. You don't even have to be hit by a nuke. You could just be next to the ground zero, or you could be next to the state that got hit by the nuke, and nuclear fallout will happen upon your state or your country. So don't think for a minute that this is just an American issue. Okay, if you don't believe that, this is CBS. You're totally right. This is USA News. But there's also Russia Today. Russia Today is talking about war coming upon the land too. And Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera is talking about war coming upon the land too. So, is it only American news? Is it only USA News? Can I tell you, or can you do the research yourself?
That requires presidential leadership. It matters that this president...
Now, where's the Trump supporters at? I would like to see one of the trolls that don't believe that God exists or don't believe that this is happening. Where are they at now? What's going on? This is all propaganda, right? This is all propaganda. This is fake. He's got the all-seeing eye behind him. Okay, CBS. We know the news logo. So he got the all-seeing eye of the Illuminati behind him, and this is fake news. So we don't have to believe this. This ain't gonna happen, right? But it's promoted, it's propagated through your films, through your video games, through your TV shows. So war's actually, if war doesn't come, then they spent a whole bunch of money preparing us for nothing.
That this president has only had one cabinet-level discussion of election security. That's a problem.
Only one.
Only one. It matters that this president, you heard this from Kirstjen Nielsen as she left, it matters that this president, that his senior advisors can't even bring up the issue of election interference with him because he won't go there.
Yeah. You made a point of saying you're not writing this book for politics.
Now, if did you hear? If he wasn't in league with the Russians, how come he doesn't want to talk about the subject? How come he doesn't want to talk? The first thing he says is, "Oh, that's malarkey, that's BS," and he just throws it out the way. No, I would want to say, as anyone sees, anytime a troll comes in, somebody that says you're wrong, you're a moron, you're crazy, I want to know why. I want to know how. So, if this stuff isn't real, why isn't he asking people, why do you believe that? Why would you think Russia would put me, an American president, in office? He would scoff at it, and he would also ask the question, why would you believe that? No, he automatically labels it fake news, that's not real, fake news. And you know what? All the cows and the sheep and everyone of the same herd goes along with the same slogan. They say, fake news, and then anytime real news actually comes up, you'll actually label it fake news. You know why? Because you've been so used to saying fake news for so long, you're lost in the sauce, okay?
You're writing it, you said at the end, as a concerned American. I was very touched by that.
And I am. I spent years in Russia and China and seeing each front of this war. I've been on the ground in Ukraine. I've been on a U.S. sub under the Arctic. I've been in the NSA operations rooms. I've been on a U.S. spy plane over the South China Sea. I see Americans in uniform and out of uniform fighting this battle every day because they care about protecting their country. I care about the safety of the country. I've got 3 kids. I want them to live in a world as free as I was able to.
Word. Now check this. These people at the table have never said anything about God. They didn't tell you to make no connection. They didn't tell you to read no Bible, but they all care about their future. So I'm here to let you know that for greed and for hatred or racism, this place is about to be obliterated, okay? So that's why this is about to happen. But if you have any tread of humanity or care of your family members, you know, your niece, nephew, uncle, son, daughter, tell somebody about this. Talk about this. This should be brought to a round table, okay? This should be brought to a table and we should be discussing this. This should be on morning news. Okay? Y'all should be talking about this. There should be other streamers streaming about this. I shouldn't be the only one. What's going on? Huh? Nobody cares about their future? Hold on, let's listen one more time. Because this guy, just like he said, he's been on all sides. He's been with the Russians, he went to China, and he's over here telling us the American. So this ain't propaganda at this point, okay? This ain't propaganda at this point. So now listen one more time and maybe you'll start feeling the tread of your future being shooken, okay?
For politics, you're writing it, you said at the end, as a concerned American. I was very touched by that.
And I am. I spent years in Russia and China and seeing each front of this war. I've been on the ground in Ukraine. I've been on a U.S. sub under the Arctic. I've been in the NSA operations rooms. I've been on a U.S. spy plane over the South China Sea. I see Americans in uniform and out of uniform fighting this battle every day because they care about protecting their country. I care about the safety of the country. I've got 3 kids. I want them to live in a world as free as I was able to grow up in and travel the world. And you have 2 countries here that are intent on changing the way the world operates. And if the country and if our leaders don't fight back, it's going to be a very different world.
No, excuse me. Do you think for a millisecond, a neuron second, that these nuclear devices are made just to show? You're bugged. You're bugged out of your mind if you think that they put these multi-million-dollar or billion-dollar weaponries together in order for them just to say, hey, I got more than you. No, they're going to be used. They have to be used. So, where are we? All I'm saying is, hey, I read the Bible. The Bible said that the Lord says he's going to come as a thief in the night. For if you knew the thief was coming, you would save all your stuff. That's how these people would be. If you knew that death was coming 3 hours from now, where would you be? You'd be trying to get into your underground bunker. You'd be trying to make it to your basement or something like that. No. When devastation comes, it comes out of nowhere. You can't ask the people of 9/11 because they're no longer here. All right? So, if anything actually happens, you better make sure you get right with God, because people don't plan to get shot. Think about those people in Iran that have bombs blown up over them. You know, they could have they could have went through that for like 3 weeks. They've been watching all these places get blown up around them. Then they woke up one day and then another bomb landed right in front of them. Okay? So, that's all I'm promoting. Now, check it out.
Watching this video, it begs the question, is America in Bible prophecy? Bible scholars debate on whether America is in Bible prophecy.
There's no debate for me. There's no debate for me, because they'll sit there and say, well, America's not in the Bible. Well, I believe it goes under the name of Babylon. I believe it goes under the name of Great Babylon. Okay? Babylon the Great. So check it out.
The States of America is never explicitly mentioned. There are 2 places in the Bible that could refer to the U.S. The first place is
3 places, actually more than that. But I'm just remembering a scripture that he didn't remember. Go to Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 9 through 11, and you'll see why Babylon's about to be destroyed. For racism and for greed. For hatred and greed. Plain and simple. So check it out.
On Revelation 18, 1 through 24, where the Apostle John declares this. After these things I saw another angel coming down from heaven, having great authority, and the earth was illuminated with his glory. And he cried mightily with a loud voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become a dwelling place of demons, a prison for every foul spirit, and a cage for every unclean and hated bird. For all the nations have drunk.
Now, how did Babylon fall? What caused Babylon to fall? Now, if you go to Jeremiah 50, verse 9, it'll show you that an assembly of great nations stood in an array against her. And an array is a formation. So they eventually come together and they say, yo, we're tired of being sanctioned. We're tired of having to go through this garbage that y'all are putting us through. So annihilation.
Of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. The kings of the earth.
Hold on. Here. This way you know it's America. I'll be quiet.
The Great is fallen, and has become a dwelling place of demons, a prison for every foul spirit, and a cage for every unclean and hated bird. For all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. The kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth have become rich through the abundance of her luxury. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people.
Now, hold on. Because, there's some Christians, there's some people out there that actually believe that Babylon the Great is the Vatican. Yo, they believe that the Pope is the Antichrist, or they believe that Great Babylon is Vatican City. Now, where have the merchants become rich through her? Now, through imports and exports, America is a big place. In fact, it's also known as the melting pot. We have Iranians here, we got Chinese spies, we got Russian spies, we got everybody here. So how have the merchants got rich through Vatican City, huh? Or did they get rich through America? So who's Great Babylon?
Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become a dwelling place of demons, a prison for every foul spirit, and a cage for every unclean and hated bird. For all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. The kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth have become rich through the abundance of her luxury. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, lest you share in her sins, and lest you receive of her plagues. For her sins have reached to heaven, and God has remembered her iniquities.
Okay. So God doesn't exist, right? Why does God remember the iniquities of Great Babylon? How is that possible? And God don't exist. God shouldn't have a memory. God wouldn't even be. Babylon the Great, America would not be destroyed if God didn't exist. And as I told whoever wants to type, you're not gonna control my stream. Ask your friend that's typing now. He already knows. You could hey, keep telling him, sir. Tell him, sir, you're not gonna control this stream. All you're gonna do is be able to make fun. You'll talk. You'll poke your whatever you poke, but you're not gonna change the stream. The stream is the way it is. Okay. Now, if God don't exist, why does He remember? And why is Babylon being destroyed? And why is America being referred to as her? Huh?
Render to her just as she rendered to you, and repay her double according to...
Because nowadays, you ask Ariana Grande, God is a woman. If you ask some of these other conscious people that are chemic, or they believe in the feminine energy, they believe that the universe is Mother Universe or a female. But God remembered the iniquities of Babylon and said, come out of her, my people, render to her as she is rendered to you. Now, why is Babylon, why is America called she? Because she creates philosophies. She creates ideologies. People come out and say, hey, I could dress up as a woman and not be gay. Yeah, that's what they're saying nowadays. So that's why this is considered a her. It's a creator, okay?
Her works, in the cup which she has mixed double for her. In the measure that she glorified herself and lived luxuriously, in the same measure give her torment and sorrow. For she says in her heart, I sit as queen, and am no widow, and will not see sorrow. Therefore her plagues will come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she will be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord God who judges her. The kings of the earth who committed fornication and lived luxuriously with her will weep and lament for her when they see the smoke of her burning, standing at a distance for fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city.
At last, that great city Babylon, the mighty city, for in 1 hour your judgment has come. Out of nowhere, them things are going to start falling from the sky and obliterating states. Okay? So don't think that nothing's going to happen. And that's what I'm saying. Once judgment hits Babylon, it's on for the world. Do you not? You could think that, oh, okay, once America gets hit, I'm okay. No, you're not okay, because that's when tribulation falls upon the earth.
For in 1 hour your judgment has come, and the merchants of the earth will weep and mourn over her, for no one buys their merchandise anymore. Merchandise of gold and silver, precious stones and pearls, fine linen and purple, silk and scarlet, every kind of citron wood, every kind of object of ivory.
Oh, yeah. The Vatican City got that. Yep, it has all this stuff. Yeah, that's why I've been saying that you need to read the Bible. Okay? And if you don't want to read the Bible, go to this guy's page, The Watchman. Go on YouTube, put in The Watchman in the search bar, and subscribe to his thing. This way you don't have to constantly hear me, you know. But if you don't want to hear me, I always promote remove yourself from the stream. But I'm gonna talk about this because I put it up, and this is my stream. So if you don't like it, remove yourself. But this isn't Vatican. This is not the Vatican. This ain't the Pope, and this place is about to be annihilated. Okay? One more time. We're gonna go back a little bit.
Saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour your judgment has come. And the
Now, that's 1 hour for America to be obliterated, okay? What happens to the other side of the world? You think that's going to be roses and dandelions? Huh? No, this is going to be world tribulation, where we are heading into global judgment, okay? Judgment upon the world.
Merchants of the earth will weep and mourn over her, for no one buys.
Yeah, look. See, right there. That's gonna met that boy. Do you know, man? Whatever. Do you know how bad the global economy would be once America's removed? Are you kidding me? Huh? You talking about Harry Potter? Hey, like I just said. Do you know how bad the economy is gonna be? The global economy once America, Babylon is removed. That's why it says, and the merchants of the earth will weep and mourn over her, for no one buys their merchandise anymore. That means no more imports, exports. We won't need to do that, because all on that side of the earth, they may as well just exchange stuff. They don't have to go into the imports. Okay?
Merchandise anymore. Merchandise of gold and silver, precious stones and pearls, fine linen and purple, silk and scarlet, every kind of citron wood, every kind of object of ivory, every kind of object of most precious wood, bronze, iron, and marble, and cinnamon and incense, fragrant oil and frankincense, wine and oil, fine flour and wheat, cattle and sheep, horses and chariots, and bodies and souls of men. The fruit that your soul longed for is gone from you, and all the things which are rich and splendid have gone from you, and you shall find them no more at all. The merchants of these things, who became rich by her, will stand at a distance for fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen, purple and scarlet, and adorned with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour such great riches came to nothing. Every shipmaster, all who traveled by ship, sailors, and as many as trade on the sea, stood at a distance.
Why are they standing at a distance? Okay, I'm so glad my trolls are here. Now, why are they standing at a distance? Okay, Mr. Raider, Mr. Splitter, huh? Mr. Cullen, any one of y'all, explain to me why the merchants and the ships and the sailors and people that's trading. They just said that China is in a trade war with America. Why are those that's trading on the sea standing at a distance and crying when they saw the smoke of this place burning, saying, what is like this great city? Are you kidding me? So at what point did this become a Harry Potter flick? Okay?
And cried out when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What is like this great city? They threw dust on their heads and cried out, weeping and wailing, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city, in which all who had ships on the sea became rich by her wealth. For in 1 hour she is made desolate.
In 1 hour. This is the third time I heard this place is going to be annihilated in 1 hour. So, how much more? You know what? What's better? A quick, devastating blow where you're just out and you're dead? Or where you're going to have to actually live slow and die slow? Huh? Which one would you prefer? Do you want to be in Germany where you may not be able to eat because the weather may be cold or the crops didn't grow or something like that? Or would you want to be in a nuke where you're just eradicated? And some people, did you see Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Now, hopefully these nukes that they have now are 10 times more powerful, because that will assure eradication. Okay? But if they're not, there was still survivors in Nagasaki. So, and that was an atomic. So can you imagine a nuclear device? Huh?
Rejoice over her, O heaven, and you holy apostles and prophets, for God has avenged you on her. Then a mighty angel took up a stone like a great mountain. What
types are there? You know what? I may go into it. I may not. But what types are there? There's hydrogen, there's atomic, and then there's thermonuclear, isn't it? So thermonuclear is like the highest you can get. Okay? Because you had the H bomb, you had the A bomb, and now we got these new bombs that's hypersonic, supersonic. You don't even see them. Okay?
Stone, and threw it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence the great city Babylon shall be thrown down, and shall not be found any more. The sound of harpists, music.
Did you hear that? One more time. One more time for the people that think that this is a Harry Potter book. Because it doesn't have no spells contained in it. And this is actually stuff that's being prophesied. It's telling you the future of how bad this place is going to be obliterated. America's going to be obliterated. So check this out one more.
By her wealth.
And this is not to pump no fear. I'm letting you know that God is coming, and to get right with God, because once his kingdom's established, his kingdom's going to look greater than anything that we've ever seen. This is supposed to be a kingdom of gold and silver. Okay? And the land is going to rejoice. The grass is going to grow greener. The trees are going to grow larger. The fruit is going to be more fruitful. It's going to be more juicy or more better. Okay? So that's what this is promoting. This ain't promoting death and horror and all this other stuff. Whatever you think, okay? Harry Potter, you know? I'm promoting, because at the end of the book, it says that God comes to establish his kingdom on earth. So right now we're seeing all the devastating and the trauma that's happening, and like I said, that's due to greed and hatred, greed and racism, That's why this is happening. But after this is all cleansed, because that's what this is. Even though this is so horrendous, even though we have to see so much bloodshed and children dying, old people dying, all kinds of crazy stuff, this is a cleansing. Believe it or not, this is a cleansing. This is almost like someone put on a $75 cologne, some Gucci or some Prada or whatever the hell they put on, and their underarms stink. Well, no, you got to go in there, you got to take a shower. So now you got to wash off that expensive good smell, and you got to get off that grudge and that dirt. And then you got to come back out, and now at least you're fresh and clean, and you got a little bit of perfume or cologne or whatever you want to put on yourself. Then you can squirt it on. But you don't put the cologne over the funk, or you don't put something that smells good over dirt. You don't just Febreze yourself. You see what I mean? And that's what we become. We became a society full of Febrezers. We try to Febreze everything. Hey, you know what? So what, that person, they're not bothering you. Let them keep doing whatever they're doing. And then once I come out with saying something like this, there's a whole bunch of retaliation. There's a whole bunch of somebody that wants to persecute. No, you can persecute all you want. God has avenged you on her, okay? So God's going to have avenge. God's going to avenge me. So I don't have no problem with any negative stuff that you're trying to tell me. You can tell me I'm stupid. You can tell me I'm a madman. You can tell me I'm a moron. You can tell me whatever you want in the chat. At the end of the day, this is prophecy. And once this place is obliterated, the other side is going to be obliterated. Once the other side's obliterated, God sets up his kingdom for 1,000 years. Then after that 1,000 years, he's going to resurrect everyone that was here. And then he's going to open the books of judgment and ask certain people, why were they acting or doing certain things upon the earth that they was doing? Plain and simple.
1 hour, she is made desolate.
Now,
Rejoice over her.
Now, if that sounds like Harry Potter to you, farewell. Farewell. But I actually believe that, and I see that this stuff is actually happening. So I've always been a firm believer in God. I've definitely believed what the Bible says because I actually see it happening. And as this breaks down to you how bad America's gonna, no, how bad the world's gonna mourn, because it's not only about the destruction of Babylon, it's about the people that threw dust on their heads. It's about the merchants that was trading on the seas and the merchants that made money from America. They're all weeping and crying and saying, where are we going to make our money from now? Where is there a great city like this? Where are we going to see anything like this ever again? And that's when calamity comes upon the earth.
O heaven, and you holy apostles and prophets, for God has avenged you on her. Then a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone, and threw it into the sea, saying, thus with violence the great city Babylon shall be thrown down, and shall not be found any more. The sound of harpists, musicians, flutists, and trumpeters shall not be heard in you any more. No craftsman of any craft shall be found in you any more, and the sound of a millstone shall not be heard in you any more.
Nothing. So that means nuclear devastation. Every one of them. The merchants, the people that was on the seas trading, they all stood afar. Why? Why, Mr. Raider? Why Splitter? Huh? Because Harry Potter? Is that why? Or is it could have been because of the flames of this place was so intense that they said, whoa, that place is destroyed. Where are we going to make our money or our living from now?
Light of a lamp shall not shine in you anymore, and the voice of bridegroom and bride shall not be heard in you anymore. For your merchants were the great men of the earth, for by your sorcery all the nations were deceived. And in her was found the blood of prophets and saints, and of all who were slain on the earth. America does seem to fit the description of the great city of Babylon. Is America Babylon, in which God will destroy?
Yes. If you haven't made up your mind, yes. Okay? Hey, Raider, if I'm the crackhead and you're listening to the crackhead, you're a fan of crackheads, huh? So why don't you just remove yourself from the stream? That's plain and simple, huh? Because I believe this is going to happen. This is going to happen. And not only to America, I believe that this is going to happen all over. Okay? They already showed movies. Look at 28 Days Later. They showed London or United Kingdom messed up. Okay? There's so many movies that show the other side of the world obliterated. Metro, I'm not sure if that's American propaganda or what, but that was about Russia being destroyed. So you think what you may, and I'm going to let you know that the facts are the facts. The Bible's been real since directors have been making movies off of it. And now prophecies enacting to the point that we have a microchip being embedded in people in order for them to access vending machines or buildings. So if that's not buying or selling, then I don't know what it is. But I feel like prophecies are enacting. So you call that a crackhead all you want. You say that I'm crazy all you want. Okay? But I see different.
Troy in 1 hour. The second place is found in Ezekiel 38, 10 through 13, where the prophet Ezekiel proclaims, "Thus says the Lord God, on that day it shall come to pass that thoughts will arise in your mind, speaking of Russia, Iran, and a coalition of nations, and you will make an evil plan. You will say, I will go up against the land of unwalled villages. I will go to a peaceful people who dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates, speaking of Israel, to take plunder and to take booty, to stretch out your hand against the waste place."
Nah. This is talking about, and because that's his interpretation. My interpretation is this is speaking of the other nations coming to destroy America. Okay? Plain and simple.
Coalition
Listen.
of nations.
On that day it shall come to pass that thoughts will arise in your head, and you will make an evil plan. You will say, I will go up against a land of unwalled villages. Now, what's America? Okay? I will go to a peaceful people who dwell safely, all them that dwell without walls and having neither bars nor gates. Hold on.
And you will make an evil plan. You will say, I will go up against the land of unwalled villages. I will go to a peaceful people who dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates, speaking of Israel, to take plunder and to take...
To take plunder and to take booty. Now, what's booty? just in case you're not sure what booty is, because some of y'all may have seen Pirates of the Caribbean and you would thought, hey, the booty's the treasure, right? No, that's what they're plundering. Okay, to take plunder and to take booty, to stretch out your hands to the waste place that they are again inhabited, and against the people gathered from the nations who have acquired livestock and goods, who dwell in the midst of the land. Okay, so that's America. And if you don't understand that, then you're not reading the Bible. You still in the Harry Potter zone, and you think that this is all make believe. So if you think this is a Disney Channel and you haven't seen Mickey Mouse yet, please remove yourself.
Booty, to stretch out your hand against the waste places that are again inhabited, and against the people gathered from the nations, who have acquired livestock and goods, who dwell in the midst of the land.
The people gathered from the nations. The people gathered from the nations. I just told you, and if anybody knows, America is the great melting pot. So once people come over from their other countries or the places that they came from, yeah, they're going to start acquiring here. Okay?
To take plunder and to take booty, to stretch out your hand against the waste places that are again inhabited, and against the people gathered from the nations, who have acquired livestock and goods, who dwell in the midst of the land. Sheba, Dedan, the merchants of Tarshish, and all their young lions will say to you, have you come to take plunder? Have you gathered your army to take booty, to carry away silver and gold, to take away livestock and goods?
Now, if you don't feel like you want to read the Bible, that's on you. If you don't feel like there's a God or a creator, that's on you also. But for me and my household, I'm gonna keep on praying and building trying to build a connection with God, because we're supposed to be hoping to be saved. Anybody that tells you in church that you're saved is already off the nut job, because we're hoping to be saved. Okay?
To take great plunder. Many Bible scholars believe that the merchants of Tarshish is Great Britain, and all their young lions is the United States of America. If this is true, why is America saying, "Have you come to take plunder? Have you gathered your army to take booty, to carry away silver and gold, to take away livestock and..."
Hey, Raider, get out the stream. Plain and simple, get out the stream. If Jesus was trolling me, one of his names would be in here right now, but I don't see his name in here, so it's just you guys at this point.
Goods to take great plunder. America is Israel's ally.
Wait.
Why aren't we defending?
Mr. Cullen, Aaron, what did you say about propaganda? Propaganda, like I said, I believe, is something that's uplifting the country. You spread propaganda by you putting it in cartoons. 300, the movie about the Greeks. That was at a time of war, and that was supposed to get the people watching to want to join the army. So they put a togetherness or camaraderie within the 300 Spartans. Okay, so that's what I take propaganda as. What do you take propaganda as? What are you trying to tell me propaganda is? I'll read it. Wait, if Jesus was some bloke, Mr. Raider, why are the prophecies of the Bible enacting today? Who's causing that? Is there some rich man in the seat saying, hey, let's start moving in God's terms now? Or is somebody actually saying, no, you know what? This is what's going on. That's what happened. Plain and simple. How can a baby build if it dies after? Sir, you've done called me a madman on many occasions, and I don't understand what you're saying. How can a baby build if it dies after born? How is the baby building? What excuse me, sir. If you don't understand where the stream's going, remove yourself. Plain and simple. Either that or you got to come up with a better question, because I don't understand what you're saying with that question.
Israel. If America is indeed all their young lions, something catastrophic must have happened. What could this catastrophic event be?
Okay. Build a relationship with Jesus. How can a baby build if it dies after born? Okay. Did that baby actually live? Because some people would actually say, whoa. See, here you go, calling names, and you don't even know how to write stuff. Either way, I'll answer your question. How can the baby be dead if it wasn't born? Plain and simple, right? Am I nuts? Okay, yeah, false news could be also propaganda, but you know what? At this point in time, with so many stations, so many people talking about it, and now it's coming from military advisors, is this really propaganda at this point? I don't believe so. So that's my stream. That's what I'm sticking to. I don't believe that this is propaganda at this point. Watch Zeitgeist. Okay. I'll watch Zeitgeist. You know what? But where is it in Zeitgeist that we're going to start implanting microchips in ourselves? Because I know it says that in Revelations chapter 13 verse 16, but in Zeitgeist I don't think that they're going to tell me anything about the prophecies that's happening to this place or what's going to happen. So if it's not going to tell me anything about the future, do I really have to watch Zeitgeist? Because I already seen 1984, and some people will sit there and say, hey, you know, this is turning into an Orwellian society. But now Maybe I should see Zeitgeist. I'm telling you where I'm standing, okay? I'm standing on the Bible. I'm standing with my faith in God, okay? Whoa, excuse me. All right, see, that's what the problem is. How do you blame Jesus for the baby dying of cancer when the baby was in the mother's womb? The mother had to take care of that child to make sure that child didn't suffer. Are you kidding me? What? How come you was born okay enough to type the stuff that you're typing in this stream, but there's a baby that was born stillborn? You tell me that, huh? Let me know. You let me know why that baby died stillborn, and you're still here to say that God doesn't exist. That's where we should be asking, okay?
Is it World War III, in which the United States was decimated? Is it a financial collapse, in which the United States
Good day, Lou.
didn't have the resources to help Israel? Or could it possibly be the rapture of the church?
Jesus can't let kids suffer if the parent is letting the child suffer. Do you understand? Because the child was supposed to be taken care of by the parent. The parent went, because nature takes its course. So once you go out and you have intercourse, you already know what's coming back from that. So, you know, a few times here and there, if the person's not ready, you know, something may block that child from actually coming into fruition. But eventually, after you have intercourse a certain amount of times, you're actually going to be left with a child. And if you don't have the moral compass or the guidelines to control yourself or make sure that your body's okay, then something happens to the child. How come you're okay? How come you're okay, Mr. Splitter? Wig Splitter. Why are you okay to the point that you have your own YouTube page? You're able to type in my stream, but you're telling me that kids are suffering. Did your mother do a good job on you? Then obviously them parents didn't do a good job on them. Okay? So Jesus gave you, he gives you, and he takes away. That's what they always say. God giveth, God taketh away. So if you're blessed, because that's what a child is. A child is supposed to be a blessing. Once you get life, once you're given the gift to give life, do you just eradicate it? Once you're pregnant, do you keep on smoking? Do you keep drinking? Or when the baby's born, do you neglect the baby? Do you just put the baby in a corner? Do you just feed the baby and tell the baby to shut up? Huh? So that's why the babies are suffering. That's why kids are suffering, because of the people around them. Okay?
Church, I pray if all their young lions is America, that by God's grace and mercy, it is.
Woo! Knowledge is bliss. I heard people say ignorance is bliss. So I don't know. I think we're gonna have a debate on that one day. I'm not too sure. Okay. Oh, okay. So Zeitgeist actually debunks the Bible and all religions. Well, guess what? For some reason, people are thinking that the Bible is a religion or an ideology. I beg to differ. If it's telling you what's going to come, then it's no longer a religion. You don't have to sit there and worship the Bible. You have to read the Bible. You're supposed to be worshiping God. That's why Jesus said in the Lord's Prayer, when he prayed to God on the mount, he said, "Our Father who art in heaven." So that's who you're supposed to pray to. That's who you're supposed to worship. You're not supposed to worship no Kaaba stone, no Quran, no Bible. You're not supposed to worship that. Those are guidelines to show you how to build a better connection with God. Plain and simple, okay?
For those who are left behind.
Wait, whoa. Okay, yes, Noblik, I believe in science. Yes, I do. Why did Jesus let children get raped by priests? Did Jesus come down and rape these people? Just like I just told you, these people are around the children that they're causing harm to. If the baby came out with cancer, what was the mother putting in her body in order for that baby to contract cancer? In order for a child to be raped by a priest, then he wasn't a priest, and who left that child with that stranger? Plain and simple. So if you're not understanding, if you're not understanding at this point, judgment's not going to be good, okay?
To run to Jesus, you more than likely will not survive the 7-year tribulation when Jesus returns, as the Antichrist will be looking.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Look, Mr. Cullen, the reason why people are having school shootings, or because, whoa, you can't ask Jesus to protect that child if that child's in an already bad environment. Do you not understand? If his parents are demons and that child has to rely on their parent, that parent, they're non-believers, they're atheists, they're not going to be able to help that child. They're not going to give the child the nurturing that child needs. Now, there may be a way that some other stranger, aunt, uncle, somebody else comes into that child's life. But nowadays, at this height of society that we're in, usually after the child's molested, the child turns into the other gender. So, and like you just said, there's babies dying, but at the same time, there's doctors that's saving babies. So you can say that there's stillborns, but there's other ways that they're saving babies. So not everybody's being just suffering and dying like you're trying to portray. There's people being saved, okay? No, that child was with strangers. You thought that child was in church. You called the church. You sent them to a building with a pedophile. That was it. You didn't do the self-diligent studying to find out if that guy that was preaching the Bible was an actual priest or a pastor. You said, nope, send the child to church, and then the child got taken into the bathroom and molested. Plain and simple. I've read Genesis. Was Sarah having children at the age of 90? Book of Tall Tales. Okay. Now, you do realize Genesis was like, let me see, the prototype to humanity, right? This was like in the great beginning. Do you realize that through the foods that we eat and through the chemicals that we use around us, that our life expectancy shortens? Do you know that radiation is being pumped through Wi-Fi? That's also shortening our lifespans. So if that's a book of tall tales, they was living in a real pure time. So I think I would like to actually go back to that time. Because if they have found a way for a man to give birth, I'm pretty sure that God had no problem with a 90-year-old person having a child, okay? I believe that. Why Jesus ain't protect the child from gun violence? Because that was another person using the gun. Now, how many times has the gun jammed? Is that not something intervening there? So, do you think, and then how many times do people have close encounters and they're shot up close, or they're shot and the person misses the shots, and they say divine intervention? So, you think that Jesus ain't intervening in none of this gun violence? Are you sure? No. Hey, suicidal. Who's Sarah? Enlighten the stream. Let everybody know. Don't ask me if I know who Sarah is. Tell everybody. If you feel like you're going to bring something new or you're going to teach people, teach them, please. I'm here to learn just off of y'all. So if I'm wrong, bring it out. Why Jesus let children take stray bullets? I just told you. Sometimes the gun jams. Sometimes the people miss and the bullet bounces off of something and goes somewhere else. Okay? So what about those times? Wait, you not reading the first book of the Bible? Okay, I'm reading the prophecies. Just like I said, I'm reading the time that we're in. I don't have to read you know what? You, as a new beginner or as a new believer, you have to read Genesis. I'm already solidified. I believe So I want to see what's coming. So if you don't care about your future, keep reading the past. You worry about the documentaries. You worry about the History Channel. I'm going to worry about what's coming, okay? This is showing you what's coming. Obliteration, annihilation. That's it. The animals go marching in by twos. Hooray. Hey, you know what? Your nuclear devastation is nigh at hand.
Kill all Jews and Christians, and will require the inhabitants of the earth to take a mark signifying that they worship him as God. Without this mark, you will not be able to buy or sell. It would be so much easier to accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior today.
Thank you, Mr. Cullen. That's all I'm saying. Everybody knows some kind of divine intervention happens at some point. I can't explain why a baby's being stillborn or why a baby was born with cancer. I can explain the fact that that baby was in the womb of its mother. And if the mother was taking care of herself, then that baby wouldn't be going through the suffering that it's going through. We can't blame that on the hand of God. God entrusted that woman with the baby. She messed up. She decided to spoil herself. She decided to mistreat her body, and in turn, now the baby has to suffer through it throughout its life. Plain and simple.
As Jesus provided an escape for his true followers, as we read in Luke 21:36. Watch therefore, and pray always.
St. James, King James Version. And you know what? Like I said, whatever atheistic stuff you have to come, I believe this. This right here. This is good. Because before you know it, when judgment arrives, every time something bad, devastating happens, somebody says, oh my God, Jesus Christ. Hey, you know what? Somebody go take yourself to go see Dark Phoenix. Because just before someone expired, just before somebody didn't make it in the movie, they was on the plane, and they looked back and they said, Jesus Christ. Now, if this is all just propaganda and this is just all a mind trick, why is this stuff actually coming to pass? Huh? And why, excuse me, and why is people telling me that I shouldn't believe? Now, if I don't believe in that, what do you believe in? If you think that this is all just happening off of sheer coincidence, keep on believing.
That you may be counted worthy to escape all these things that will come to pass and to stand before the Son of Man.
Whoa, say that. Say one day. Whoa. Say that one more time, because this is what you need to go to your local church and tell them, because people are believing out there that they're already saved through the blood of the Lamb. A lot of people feel like they're already saved through the blood of Jesus. Okay, so check this out one more time.
As we read in Luke 21:36. Watch therefore, and pray always, that you may be counted worthy to escape all these things that will come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man.
That's all I'm telling you. That's all I'm telling you. In fact, I think my next 3 streams are just going to be of Luke chapter 21. Okay? That's all I've been trying to tell you. And you're sitting there telling me,
as we read in Luke,
you're telling me, no, that you're wrong. That's the book of Harry Potter, and I don't believe it. All I'm telling you is the same thing they're telling you in Luke chapter 21, verse 36. One more time, here we go.
36. Watch therefore, and pray always, that you may be counted worthy to escape all these things that will come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man.
Now, you don't have nothing else. You don't have nothing else. You can either actually take the fact that there's a hypersonic nuclear device in Russia's hands and potentially China's hands, and you could be cool with that and go on about your day. But what I've always made these streams about is watch therefore and pray always, that you may be counted worthy, may be counted worthy to escape all these things that will come to pass, that will come upon the earth, and stand before the Son of Man. The Son of Man, Jesus Christ, the Lord. Okay? So, I'm hoping at the end that I get to stand before him, and I hope that I'm counted worthy to escape all these things. So, in turn, I'm trying to spread the message. I'm letting you know that this stuff is about to go down. So you don't have to believe it. Don't believe it. Remove yourself from the stream. I'm so great with it. But as long as you know that that's what we're supposed to be worrying and being saved about. This is what I'm always saying. Okay? That's all I'm saying. In fact, that's what the Lord said. That's why he said, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Okay? Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Plain and simple. Okay? Hold on. One more.
As we read in Luke 21:36. Watch therefore, and pray always, that you may be counted worthy to escape all these things that...
Pray always. It doesn't say anything about go start a religion. It doesn't say nothing about do hibbity bibbity bop. It doesn't say nothing about Harry Potter. It doesn't say nothing about read your Bible all the time. It says watch. Watch what? What are you watching for? Huh? And it says pray always. Pray for what? What are you praying for? That you're counted worthy. Counted worthy for what? To escape all these things. Escape what? Because if we're just sitting here reading Harry Potter, we're not going to escape nothing. There's nothing to escape. We ain't got to worry about nothing. You see? Ignorance is bliss, right? So, watch, therefore, and pray always, that you may be counted worthy to escape all these things that are to come to pass. Plain and simple. So, it doesn't say nothing about hibbity bibbity. It doesn't say nothing about Harry Potter. It doesn't say nothing about starting a religion or constantly smashing your face in the Bible. It's saying pray. Pray always. So if you have a problem with that, that's all this channel promotes. We're praying that we may escape these things and we may be able to stand before the Son of Man and see the glorious, beautiful kingdom of God. That's it. And for the atheists out there that think that our destination is supposed to be just heaven, we're supposed to die and go to heaven, you're wrong. In the end of Revelations, the last book of the Bible, it says that God is setting up his kingdom, his tabernacle here on earth. So the earth is supposed to be someplace that we're residing. We're supposed to be living in earth, not in heaven.
Will come to pass and to stand before the Son of Man.
One day, Jesus is coming. You may be at church.
Wow, you know what? That's strong to hear from an atheist. That's strong to hear from an atheist. Once we know point blank, we're all fucked. I think we need to start just praying, just like I just said. In fact, I didn't say it. This was made. The Bible was made before me. I was born in the 80s. I was born in the 80s. Okay, the Bible was here before me, and all I'm saying is I'm seeing the stuff that the Bible is talking about. So we need to start praying and hoping that maybe we're counted worthy of escaping these things that are to come to pass. Plain and simple. Yeah. Hey, hold on. Wait. No. What are the people in church praying for? They're praying for Joel Osteen. They're praying for bigger checks or better checks. Hold on. Listen to this guy.
You may be at work. You may be asleep. God grant that you will be ready when he makes his personal appearance.
You understand that? Do you understand that? So those people that was in church and the church got shot up, that could have been the way God wanted them to go out. They died in church. Now, hopefully they was praying for the right things. Hopefully they wasn't praying for a new Cadillac Escalade. Or hopefully they wasn't praying for a new promotion at their job. Hopefully they was praying to be taken out. Hey, you gotta think, at least these people ain't gotta worry about nuclear devastation going off above their heads. They got shot in church, okay? And who's shooting the churches? Okay, that's why I go back to saying racism and greed. Racism and greed is why judgment is falling upon the earth. Who's shooting up the churches? Because last I checked, the people that's shooting on street corners aren't the people shooting at churches. They're shooting on street corners. They're shooting over turfs. They're shooting over gangland. That's what they're shooting over. They're shooting over women or somebody stepping on their tennis shoe or their basketball shoe. They're not going in the church and saying, you know what? God don't exist. Brrr. Nobody does that. Nobody does that. So the people that actually had to go through that, they're actually taken away. They don't have to worry about world war actually breaking off. But for you that's here, how do you think that this thing is about to go down? How do you feel? Huh?
My God! What if his appearance occurs on a Sunday?
For some people, they did see Christ on a Sunday morning. Because absent from the body is present with the Lord. So once they got shot in church, they made it. They made it wherever they made it, because judgment hasn't even started yet. So actually, the Bible says that those people are still in slumber. The second resurrection doesn't happen until the 1,000 years is up. The 1,000 years begins once he comes back and he annihilates the other half of the world, because Babylon, America, is going to be destroyed. Do you understand? So that's why the merchants stand far off and everybody's crying, and then there's no reason to import or export no more, because that half of the globe is done. Now maybe South America is still thriving, but I know North America is going to be obliterated, and I don't know about Canada and Mexico. Hopefully they're okay, but if they get obliterated, it's world war. Okay? So for those people, just like the Bible says, God said he's going to come as a thief in the night. Those people didn't know that they was going to be killed that day. They was just sitting there going to church as a regular day, and you don't know what their connection with God was. Were they the child of God that was always asking for worldly possessions? Like God, please help me make sure I pay my light bill. You see what I mean? Or were they actually saying, God, please guide me, please show me the actual truth, and please keep me under your guidance? Were they doing that? And if they did, some of them went to the place that they needed to be. Whereas if the other people didn't, well, hey, you know what? I can't judge nobody. I don't know where you're going to make it. I don't know where anyone's going to make it. Okay? Hey, that's what that scripture just said. The scripture said, watch therefore and pray always. Okay? So I'm not saying not to go to church, but you're supposed to be building up a connection with God yourself. So if you don't want to build up a connection with God, that's on you. But as for me, that's the scripture I read. That's what I'm promoting. I say that you need to start building a connection. You're supposed to be praying to make it out of all this stuff that's to come. Hey, don't get upset. Don't get all shaky and all crazy. Okay? Like I said, if you find the right church, you're supposed to go and ask them, say, are you saved? And then if they say, yeah, I'm saved under the blood of the Lamb, I'm saved under the blood of Jesus Christ, you say, okay, then go to Luke chapter 21 verse 36, because if you're saved, we're supposed to pray. We're supposed to be praying always, and we're supposed to be watching. Okay? That's yes, Mr. Cullen. Yes, that's very true. But just as I said, hold on. In fact, I didn't say it, and that's the bad part, because I don't want y'all to feel like I'm telling you what the Bible's saying. I'm telling you what the Bible says, and I'm letting you gather your own.
It would be so much easier to accept Jesus as
I'll let
Lord
you gather your own. I'll let you gather your own opinion from it. I'm not controlling nobody on this, so check it.
As Jesus provided an escape for his true followers, as we read in Luke 21:36. Watch therefore, and pray always, that you may be counted worthy to escape.
Okay. God forgive me for judging. I already said that I can't judge none of y'all. I don't know your lives. I don't know what you're doing. But God forgive me, we all sin, and I apologize for sinning. I don't mean to judge on none of you people down there. I appreciate you here. I don't want to judge, but this is what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be praying, plain and simple. So I would think that it's good to go to church for the fact that you're around people that you could try to make of like mind. But as for a religious purpose, this doesn't say anything about religion. It says watch. Where if you're watching, you're studying, you're checking out different news streams, you're checking out all that other stuff. And then it says pray always. So that's what we're supposed to be doing. Oh man, evil ways. Hey, you think you think that this is fair? Hold on. Oh man, you came in here so late. Nah, this ain't fair. I'm trying to enlighten everybody of what's actually happening upon this earth. So if you think that this is fair, maybe you may have to go to YouTube, go into the search bar and type in John Cage, Mark of the Beast, and go to the stream and start from the beginning. I'm not starting no fear. I'm telling you, I have no reason to tell y'all to live in fear. In fact, this is what I'm telling you. This is what I'm telling you. I'm so glad that you came here. I needed you here because I haven't seen you here for quite some time. Yep, put up the 666 Mark of the Beast thing. Hey, you know what? That 666 is just a number. That microchip, that's what you should be putting up. Put up the microchip. Let everybody know that you're going to be one of them people in chapter 14, verse 9. Okay? Because if you're promoting that, you may as well promote the Mark of the Beast. But I'm not promoting fear. Oh, I'm sure he is. With a name like yours, he's got to be your God. But check this out. This scripture right here in Luke chapter 21, verse 36 breaks your analogy of me. Because this is what I've been promoting on this stream. This is the basis. This is one of the foundations of this stream. This scripture right here. It says, watch therefore. That means study to show thyself approved. That means to keep on watching news and watch to make sure that the prophecies are lining up. Watch therefore and pray always that you may be counted worthy to escape all these things that are to come to pass. Okay? So when you hear me talk about war, when you hear me talk about devastation, this is all, so this is the prophecies of this place coming to pass. Now, after all the devastation, God's going to send his son down. He's going to come down. He's going to clean house. And then he's going to bring down the kingdom of God. And once everything's set up, arranged right, that's when God comes back down. And that's it. So we got a glorious future, but you're going to have to go through some turmoilous stuff. Plain and simple. So you could boo, you could sad, you could put 666, you could get the microchip, you gotta read the Bible. You gotta read the Bible because the microchip, the Verichip, the little microchip that they're implanting in people, the reason they call it the Mark of the Beast is because they started it in cats and dogs first. It was a tracking device so they could find lost pets. Okay, so now after that comes out, that's when war unleashes. Okay, it's already out. So now war can come at any point. So all I've been saying throughout my many streams is watch therefore and pray always that you may be. I don't know if I'm going to be. Just because I pray, that doesn't make me any more exempt than you. I'm hoping, I'm praying, maybe counted worthy to escape all these things that are to come to pass. And to stand before the Son of Man. Because you know what? A lot of people ain't going to be able to stand before the Son of Man. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Okay? Wait. Who's a liar? Wait. I can't live in fear if the devil's your God. I don't have to live in fear. I already know what's coming to pass. Why would I have to live in fear? I'm trying to get you right with God. Plain and simple, you got to watch and you got to pray always. Pray without ceasing. You got to always pray. You got to say, please, God, deliver me and my family. Get the demon off my back. And please watch over my family. Please make sure that I make it out of this calamity that's about to come upon this land, because it's a serious time that we're in. And I wish, you know what? I'm not even gonna. Whoever don't want to be here, don't be here. But just for you evil ways, I gots to rewind this. I gots to rewind this. Hold on, because you think that this is fair, and I don't want nobody here thinking that I'm trying to pump any kind of fear to them. Okay, let you know what times we in. This is not fair, okay? This is not fair. This is information. This is educational.
Now, this meeting comes amid an escalation of what author Jim Sciutto calls a new type of warfare. His new book, it's called The Shadow War: Inside Russia's and China's Secret Operations to Defeat America.
Go to Facebook or go to Instagram. Search the author's name. Go to his page and tell him that he just made a book on fear. Please tell him that. Go to him and tell him that he just made a book on fear, talking about inside Russia and China's secret operations to defeat America. Go to Jim Sciutto, whatever his name is, whatever that last part is. Go to his Instagram or his Facebook and give him a direct message and say, you're spreading fear. Because that's the person's face that you got to now. Everybody always says, oh, the Bible's made up. The Bible's man-made. Well, this guy made a man-made book. You actually got the author now. Why aren't anybody writing him?
And it's on big time. It highlights tactics he says both countries used.
Woo! Hey, you know what, Mr. Cullen? I would not like to know what you do in your spare time. You do that however you want to do it. Before or after. I don't know. You keep that to yourself. Anyway, if kids die after birth, it's the mother to blame? In certain cases, yes. Yes, it is. Living in fear. Cuckoo. Anyway, you said it's the mother's fault. You said yes. In certain cases, if she harmed her body or she put chemicals or whatever in to her body, yes, she did cause harm to that child while she was carrying it. Yes, it was. Med time. Where is this meds? Look at the red pill. He said, take the blue pill or the red pill. Right? That's what he said. Oh no. Okay. Yeah, check that out. This is med time. Meds? We need meds now. Okay. What about this guy? Does this guy need meds? Check him out.
And its allies, but fall below the threshold of starting a shooting war. Try saying that 3 times. Sciutto is CNN's chief.
Falls below the threshold of starting a shooting war. Now, what's a shooting war? Will they be shooting arrows or bullets? Huh? Because my personal opinion, I think they're going to be shooting nukes. Okay? But you know what? If this is fair and I need meds, check this guy out.
National security correspondent and anchor. He's also served as chief of staff to America's ambassador to China from 2011 to 2013, and we're delighted that you're at the table, Mr. Shadow.
Great to be here. Thanks so much for having me.
So we all have heard the term Cold War, trade war, but this shadow war is a different kind of animal, you say, and they use very different tactics, like?
It is. It's...
Don't worry about if I'm a junkie. Don't worry about how's my work when you don't really care. Worry about if I'm pumping fear. Check out this guy that possibly looks like he's related to you and listen to what he's got to say. And tell me if this is fake news. Because the look in his eyes look pretty troubling. Okay? So check it out.
The war that they are waging, Russia and China are waging on the U.S., and we're not fighting back, and only very recently came to terms with it. And I think Americans are aware of some of the fronts.
So wait. I'm pumping fear, but this guy just said that America's not even fighting back.
and they use very different tactics like?
It is. It's a war that they are waging, Russia and China are waging on the U.S., and we're not fighting back, and only very recently came to terms with it. And I think Americans are aware of some of the fronts of this war, certainly election interference, which continues, but they're not aware of others. Russia and China have both put weapons in space, lasers, kamikaze satellites, kidnapper satellites.
Woo! Woo! Excuse me. Is that living in fear? Is China living in fear when they put a laser in space or a satellite that could snatch up other satellites? Huh? Is that living in fear? Now, if you think that that's living in fear, you see the guy's name. You see the guy's name. Hold up. Where's that? Right here. Okay? You see the guy's name. Go to his YouTube. Go to his YouTube. Go to his Instagram page, his Twitter page, and his Facebook page, and type the same stuff that you're typing under me. A mother has twins and one dies. Why did Jesus save one? I can't explain that, man. That's not in the Bible. You know, you need to do your own research. Like I said, when I started this stream, this is about the current events and why we need to start building a connection with God. Plain and simple. Now, some of us in the stream believe that the devil's their God. Well, if the devil's your God and fire is his torment, then may the flames be with you. Okay? Plain and simple. Plain and simple. But I am not going to be sitting here trying to tell you why there's stillborns and why babies are born like that. No. Looky here. Look at this cookie. Looky at this cookie. This is a war. War is about to ignite. So, just like it said, watch therefore, pray always, that you may be counted worthy to escape all these things that ought to come to pass. That's it. So, if you don't believe in God because there's stillborn babies, or a mother had a twin with babies, or whatever you got in your head, walk your path. May the flames be with you. Okay?
China has developed a satellite that can grab other satellites out of orbit. These are satellites we depend on for the way we live every day of our lives, GPS, etc., but also the military does, crucially. There's a new great game under the waves, submarine warfare between the U.S., Russia, and China. Submarines, they're quieter, they're getting closer to U.S. shores. That's a way to project nuclear power without warning right up to the U.S. homeland.
And what are they trying to get, Jim? What are they trying to get? And you point out in the book that we don't seem prepared.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. Thank you. That's so true. Just like I was saying, that's why we're reading, that's why I keep on quoting Luke chapter 21, verse 36. It doesn't say anything about reading Harry Potter. It doesn't say nothing about hibbity pibbity poop. It doesn't say bobbity bobbity boo. It doesn't say abracadabra. It doesn't say start a religion. It doesn't say read the Bible always. It says watch, therefore, pray always, that you may be, that's not even definite, may be counted worthy to escape all these things that are to come to pass. So, all I'm saying here is that we need to start praying. Look, hey, this guy got 33,000 views. You understand? I think I only had like 10 people coming here, 11 people, 12, whatever. I'm cool with that. Just to know that I'm spreading this. Let you know that there should be a whole bunch of people doing streams like this. I don't know why they ain't. They feel better coming into this stream and putting this stream under persecution than they feel like actually going and making their own stream, right?
Prepared for what is happening to us.
No question. They're trying. In China's case, they're trying outright to surpass the U.S.
Well, he's living in fear. He's living in fear. And either way, tell him he's living in fear.
They say it publicly in speeches. It's in their documents, their national security documents. They want to achieve what they view as their rightful place on top of the world.
Well, I mean, how much more could they want? We got everything here that's made in China. You know what I mean? Like, you look under certain toys and on the back of certain shirts and labels and stuff, you got a lot of made in China things. I mean, just at like what, the 3-year mark or maybe the 5-year mark, you started seeing made in Indonesia or made in Jordan, or you see some something like that. The only way you're gonna get something extravagant is if you have a nice sized income, or you have a nice financial background. That's when your stuff is made in Italy or made in Paris. Okay, but for the most part, for the populace, everything's made in China. So why would they be trying to make themselves a little bit better? That don't make no sense. Hold on.
No question. They're trying. In China's case, they're trying outright to surpass the U.S. This is not a secret. They say it publicly in speeches. It's in their documents, their national security documents. They want to achieve what they view as their rightful place on top of the world. And almost invariably, national security folks will say China is the bigger of the two threats. But Russia, very big threat. And theirs is more of a zero-sum game. Any opportunity to stick their finger in the eye of the United States, they view as a win.
I spoke with the FBI director last year, and you think about what the FBI does in terms of countering terrorist threats. He said his top counterintelligence priority is China. How many spies?
You're living in fear. You're living in fear. Somebody just said in the comments that you're living in fear. So you shouldn't be talking about this segment of the news report, okay? Nobody really cares, right?
Chinese spies are in America trying to steal and commit economic espionage.
Thousands here, and I spoke to the FBI's former head of counterintelligence, and tens of thousands in China. I mean, he talked about it in terms of they have a national service program almost for smart young people there.
Smart young people. Now, excuse me, if you're here in my room telling me I'm living in fear, what is the young smart people doing over there, huh? And why do the young smart people here indoctrinate themselves in smartphones, but over there in China, they're teaching them programs of how to do espionage? Tell me that. Hey, you missed the 6. You see, smart people. No, it's not supposed to be 1 6. You're supposed to put 3. Come on, you're making the devil upset with you.
To hack their way into those public and private sector secrets, and they do it with enormous success.
They're stealing seed technology, agriculture technology, medical technology.
Artificial intelligence, but also crucially national security technology. I have a chapter in the book about how over the course of 4 years, before they were detected, a small team of 4 people stole secrets about the F-35, the C-17, and the F-22. And today, China is flying planes that look remarkably like those planes.
Yeah. So, Jim, give us some context in terms of...
he's living in fear. He said that the Chinese spies stole from America and actually went back and manufactured the same blueprints that they stole from the Americans. That's not real. That's Harry Potter. We're living in fear, living a lie. Timmy, you're living a lie.
9/11, there were people who were saying, connect the dots, and there were other people who were asleep at the switch, to mix my metaphors. In this case, do people know the threat is real and they're just trying to catch up, or are they still blind to the nature of the threat?
It took time. It was belated, but they know it today. I spent time out in the field. This is the way U.S. submarine commanders talk about the conflict today. It's the way...
Hold on. You're like spamming my stream, and you're saying I'm trying too hard? Maybe you're the one living in fear. And all I'm telling you is get right with God. Build a connection with God. Read Luke chapter 21, verse 36. You can watch this stream. You can go on YouTube, put in the search bar a call for an uprising. You could put in the Watchmen, just in case you don't want to hear black voices, because there's black people watching this stuff too. Okay, there's a whole bunch of people watching. Go to those places and go do your own research. Okay, but I'm not trying to get you to live in fear. I don't want to live in fear. We're hoping that we make it out. Anyone that has any belief in God or faith, they're hoping to make it out. That's it. Because this is all I'm letting you know is the ball's on the court, the ships are on the sea, the planes are in the air, and the bombs are dropping. That's it. That's all I'm telling you. and we need to get right with God. Plain and simple.
People in the NSA operation centers fighting cyber.
Hold on. You know what? Because he's an expert, I'm going to let this guy just talk. Go ahead. Bye. Have a good one. Later. I'm going to let this guy talk. Check it out.
To hack their way into U.S. public and private sector secrets, and they do it with enormous success.
They're stealing seed technology, agriculture technology, medical technology.
Artificial intelligence, but also crucially national security technology. I have a chapter in the book about how over the course of 4 years, before they were detected, a small team of 4 people stole secrets about the F-35, the C-17, and the F-22. And today, China is flying planes that look remarkably like those planes.
Yeah. So, Jim, give us some context in terms of before 9/11, there were people who were saying connect the dots, and there were other people who...
You must not have understood. This can't be cuckoo. You better listen to what he said. Okay, a few months ago I was talking about how Donald Trump was in league with the Russians, and the Russians got him, and they rigged the elections and got him in the presidential seat. This guy just confirmed it. He also said that there's weaponry in space, so if a nuclear device goes up there, it can be obliterated or knocked off trajectory by them snatching a satellite. Don't believe it? You're about to see it. He also said that under the water that they're having nuclear exchanges, or they're trying to upgrade their nuclear technology, their submarine technology, and Russia came out with a nuclear torpedo, okay? A nuclear underwater device. So, if you think that this cuckoo, I got something new for you, boo-boo. Let's go. Come on.
China is the bigger of the two threats, but Russia
no.
very big threat.
Oh, no. We're not saving evil ways like that. We're not saving evil ways. This stream, you want to get in my head? I'm going to let you in. Get in.
An anchor. He's also served as chief of staff to America's ambassador to China from 2011 to 2013, and we're delighted that you're at the table, Mr.
Yeah.
He served as an ambassador. So, whatever you got to say, cuckoo, boo-boo, you're out the room, okay?
Kabir, thanks so much for having me.
So we all have heard the term Cold War, trade war, but the shadow war is a different kind of animal, you say, and they use very different tactics, like?
It is. It's a war that...
I get a whole bunch of stuff, Mr. Cullen, and as you see, I don't block nobody. I've done had racial slurs done thrown at me. You see, I'm not like this guy. I'm not like him, okay? I've had racial slurs thrown at me. I have no problem. That's why I don't show my face on the stream. Eventually, I probably will. Probably. But for the most part, the message is more important than the messenger. Okay? That's why everybody says, don't shoot the messenger. Well, you're not going to be able to shoot me. All you're going to be able to say is, he's crazy. He's cuckoo. He's a moron. He's a madman. He's a nut job. He's whatever you want to say. Okay? But this is actually happening. This right here. He's actually on there. And he was an ambassador. He's a decorated person from the government. Okay?
They're waging, Russia and China are waging on the U.S., and we're not fighting back, and only very recently came to terms with it. And I think Americans are aware of some of the fronts of this war, certainly election interference, which continues, but they're not aware of others. Russia and China have both put weapons in space. Lasers, kamikaze satellites, kidnapper satellites. China has developed a satellite that can grab other satellites out of orbit. These are satellites we depend on for the way we live every day of our lives, GPS, etc., but also the military does. Crucially, there's a new great game under the way.
Crucially. So just like I said, that messes up the trajectory of the nuclear missile that the Americans launch if China decides to use their captivating satellite to steal one of the global positioning satellites that we have, okay? That knocks the missile off trajectory.
Submarine warfare between the U.S., Russia, and China. Submarines, they're quieter, they're getting closer to U.S. shores. That's a way to project nuclear power without warning right up to the U.S. homeland.
And what are they trying to do?
And did you hear him? They're practicing this. This is practicing. This is a distraction from what's going on in Chicago. Okay, what's going on in Chicago? Because he's talking about a world war on the rise. This is more than a community. Now, I remember I heard that that they had SWAT team and army people in Chicago. But you know what? What caused that? People again. People were sitting up there. I remember I heard on one weekend, one Memorial weekend, it was like 100 people got shot or something. It's violence. So of course, violence had to be answered. So if America's policing the world and the people don't like how they're being policed, what do the people do?
Jim, what are they trying to get? And you point out in the book that we don't seem prepared for what is happening to us.
No question. They're trying. In China's case, they're trying outright to surpass the U.S. This is not a secret. They say it publicly in speeches. It's in their documents, their national security documents. They want to achieve what they view as their rightful place on top of the world. And almost invariably, national security folks will say China is the bigger of the two threats. But Russia, very big threat. And theirs is more of a zero-sum game. And
now, for years, that's where the propaganda comes in. For years, I've been hearing Russia's the actual bully. Russia's the big ones on the block that we have to worry about. Now this guy's sitting there saying that China is. So I'm kind of feeling like we're looking at twin towers or twin powers. Okay? Because what happens when they join forces? Just as the Bible said they're going to. If anyone has a Bible, go to Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 9. And read down to 11, and you're going to see that this place is going to be annihilated. It's going to be an assembly of great nations. An assembly is a gathering of great nations, and they're going to set themselves in a formation against Babylon. Okay?
Opportunity to stick their finger in the eye of the United States they view as a win.
I spoke with the FBI director last year, and you think about what the FBI does in terms of countering terrorist threats. He said his top counterintelligence priority is China. How many spies, Chinese spies, are in America trying to steal and commit economic espionage?
Thousands here, and I spoke to the FBI's former head of counterintelligence, and tens of thousands in China. I mean, he talked about it in terms of how they have a national service program almost for smart young people there to hack their way into U.S. public and private sector secrets, and they do it with enormous success.
They're stealing seed technology, agriculture technology, medical technology.
Well, it's good to see the trolls are gone, because I'm still trying to figure out where this is fear. How am I living in fear? Aren't these people living in more fear than I am? Because I'm saying after this devastation, the kingdom of God comes down. So that's the beautiful part. I don't see where there's anything. The prophecies are enacting. The wheels are turning. That's what I'm here promoting. I'm also here promoting Luke chapter 21 verse 36, where you have to watch therefore and pray always that you may be counted worthy to escape all these things that are to come to pass and to be able to stand before the Son of Man. So that's what I promote on this channel. This ain't fear. Hold on, check this out. I think this may be the one. You gotta check this out. Hold on, please.
I'm asking.
Whoa. Oh no. Oh, okay. Wait, no. You know what? This may be it. Hold on, please. Yeah, this is it. This is it. Check this out. Check this out.
About a new space race that is creating a crowded field, including...
It says on the bottom of your screen, you can't see it too good. I should have fixed the camera a little bit better, but whatever. It says hypersonic resolve. Hypersonic resolve. Okay?
Countries like India and Israel joining the United States and China. It's kind of a scary proposition that is causing Russia, it says.
Now, for the guy that was telling me that I was just showing American news, this is Russia Today. Okay? So I went from CBS to RT. And I'm going to let you go check out Al Jazeera. Okay? Just so you know that this ain't propaganda. And for some reason, hold on.
Says,
and for some reason, CBS had an eye on their table. For another reason, this has another eye on its table. Okay? So it's part of the secret cabal or whatever you want to call it. I know that. But is this fake news at this point? Check it out.
To create new anti-ballistic missiles to protect it from any incoming attack, even attacks, for example, from space. Well, question. How fast...
He got... He just said that they got systems to protect themselves from weapons from space. Now, if this is fake news at this point, why do we keep constantly hearing about space weapons? Why in the opening of Call of Duty Ghosts was the rod of God or Odin's eye or whatever the hell that was falling from space? And how come you could go to Tom Clancy's End War and see weaponry in space coming from satellites? What's up with that? So just in case anybody wants to say, hey, you know, this is fake news or this is propaganda, why are we being propagated this? At what point do we start saying, hey, do you start thinking this real stuff is, do you start thinking this fake stuff is real? Oh man. Oh man. Hey, you know, at one point in time, they used to say ghosts don't exist. And now for some reason you can see somebody get special effects and make a ghost video. You got another person saying that a ghost just popped up.
Question. How
I think that the fiction is starting to become reality, plain and simple. So for all these years, people been saying God don't exist. There's no God. There's no man in the sky. There's no hand. There's no face. Nobody's watching. Do what you want. When that thing actually comes, hey, think about them people that witness possessions or they actually see a ghost in their house. What do? Oh God, Jesus, Jesus Christ. They get scared automatically. What happens when the wrath of God comes down to the planet? Huh?
fast is this new...
I'm a rewinder for those that say I talk too much.
We have been reporting here on the news with Rick Sanchez this week about a new space race that is creating a crowded field, including countries like India and Israel joining the United States and China. It's kind of a scary proposition that is causing Russia, it says, to create new anti-ballistic missiles to protect it from any incoming attack, even attacks, for example, from space. Well, question. How fast is this new Russian missile?
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Did you see that? Neither.
Whoa!
You know why? It's so...
You don't even see the body of it. And that's the hypersonic. Okay? So, if you still don't believe in God, I'm here to let you know that he said that he will be here in a twinkling of an eye. He said that he's going to come as a thief in the night. He's going to be here quick. In 1 hour, America, Babylon, is going to fall. Is going to be destroyed. Okay? 1 hour. So, if you don't believe in God, I think today would be the perfect day to start changing your opinion. Go outside. If you don't think that divine intervention happens, then I can't force you to. That's something that you would have to see. But go outside and just walk around. And if you think that there's no order, then you think that everything happens randomly or spontaneously, then you should be able to go up to any woman. You should be able to do whatever you want. You could go into any store. You could pick up anything you want because it's just random, you know? However you feel. And everybody should be okay with it because the world's out of order. There is no God and we don't need order, right?
Fast, even...
Hold on.
That is causing Russia...
This is how fast war can start. Because a detonation of one of these devices will definitely cause warfare. That will escalate or speed up intentions for war, okay?
It says, to create new anti-ballistic missiles to protect it from any incoming attack, even attacks, for example, from space. Well, question. How fast is this new Russian missile? Did you see that? Neither did I. You know why? It's so fast, even the photographers don't seem to be able to follow this thing. Apparently, it's 9 times the speed of sound. Here now with...
9 times faster than the speed of sound. So, If the Lord said that he's coming as a thief in the night and no man's going to know the day or the hour that he's coming, and that you could just meet your maker at any time, why not make a connection with him? Why feel like God don't exist? Because when God actually does exist, you're going to have to actually answer for the fact that you believe that he didn't. Now, 9 times faster than the speed of sound. You don't even see the body of the nuclear device. You know how long these missiles are, these rockets? You don't even see it. You don't even see it. So,
Russian missile.
Hold on, look, come on. Because somebody just said I live in fear. Somebody just told me I'm promoting propaganda. And this thing was just released from a silo, okay?
Did you see that? Neither did I. You know why? It's so fast, even the photographers don't seem to be able to follow this thing.
Now, either this guy is from Russia, or he's an American that's very happy that his destruction is coming in a swift eye, okay? Because no one sees it. Look, I paused it. Thank you. Man, would you believe I've been watching this thing for almost a day now? I would say I watched this several times trying to capture this image, and I couldn't capture it. And now right here for your eyes, your special soul, this is being caught. That is the nuclear device, a ball of fire. You don't even see the missile that's supposed to be the thruster. That's supposed to be the thruster. Do you understand how that? So when I say that we need to build a connection with God, this is the reason I'm saying we need to build a connection with God. Because you're not going to see the destruction hit. Okay? You don't even see the missile or the body of the missile. All you see is the flame. Okay? That's how fast and barreling into the atmosphere, into the stratosphere, this thing is doing. Okay?
Apparently it's 9 times the speed of sound. Here now with more is RT correspondent Yulia Shapovalova.
Maria Shapovalova. Okay? I think she's safe because she's over there in Russia, and she's behind the tail of that nuclear monstrosity. Okay? Now, what we would have to hope as Americans is, we'll get the launch in retaliation, hopefully, because if there's an EMP that shuts out our electrical grid, what's going to guide that? Huh? What's going to release it from the silo? And then if they got a global satellite position, either way, if they got a satellite, China, that can snatch our satellites, then the trajectory of that missile may land in the ocean. It may go somewhere else, and you was thinking that you was going to actually hit a target, and you hit nothing. Okay?
It's another test of the anti-missile Victor 3T6M as part of a program to modernize Russia's central area's defense systems, especially its industrial district. Features of the new...
Now, why does that Russian reporter not look too different from an American reporter? What's the difference between American Caucasian people and Russian Caucasian people besides the language? Because I feel like they have a lot of similarities, which would be very insane and sick at this point, because that would mean that they're willing to nuke each other and they know that they're the ones in the power seats. Trump and Putin shook hands on many occasions. They looked each other in the eye. They talked before. So where would there be a difference? Why can't somebody come together in peace and say, yo, I see that this is headed towards mutual destruction, mutual disaster, or mutual destruction, okay? Can we come to some kind of form of peace? Let's make this treaty back again. No, Trump pulled himself out of all these treaties, these nuclear treaties with Iran, with Russia, and eventually I'm pretty sure he's going to do it with China. And you know what? All three of them countries go look back and say, hey, you know, there's no nuclear treaty at this point.
The missile are kept secret by the military. What is
of sound? Here now with more is RT correspondent Yulia Shapovalova.
If you don't believe in God, may the flames be with you. But as for me and mine, I believe in God. Okay? And I believe that we need to start building up a connection. Just like it says in Luke chapter 21 verse 36. Watch therefore and pray always that you may be counted worthy to escape all these things that are to come to pass, and that you may be able to stand before the Son of Man. Plain and simple, okay? So if you don't believe in God, that's what I'm promoting on this channel. You better start.
yet another test of the anti-missile 53T6M as part of a program to modernize Russia's central area's defense systems, especially its industrial districts. Features of the new anti-missile are kept secret by the military. What is known, though, is that...
So Russia's making another nuclear device. Okay, hold on. Wait, Russia's successful test unique hypersonic interceptor missile. So if the missile, if they get on their radar that they're about to be hit with a nuclear device, they have a hypersonic intercepting missile where it'll be there before the missile that was targeting Russia, okay? And it will detonate it either in the air or detonate it however. Now, hopefully if they detonate it high, that'll cause an EMP on their side of the earth too. But that's not definite, okay? That's not for sure, and I didn't see that in the Bible, okay?
Its predecessor is in service in the Russian army, and it can accelerate to 3 kilometers per second.
3 kilometers per second, okay?
Its industrial districts. Features of the new anti-missile are kept secret by the military. What is known, though, is that its predecessor is in service in the Russian army, and it can accelerate to 3 kilometers per second.
These weapons that are now coming out are almost godlike. Because look what she just said. They have capabilities on them that they're still keeping secret. Now, what could be more kept secret than the fact that you have a flash bullet? A flash bullet. In fact, later on, she'll say, after I'm done talking, she'll say, hey, this missile moves faster than a machine gun bullet, okay?
Its industrial districts. Features of the new anti-missile are kept secret by the military. What is known, though...
Features of the new anti-missile are kept secret by the military. But they're letting you know it's hypersonic. So they already know they got that end up on you. They said, before you know it, you're hit. So, and for those that sit there and say, oh, well, you know what? I'm in Germany, or I'm in the UK, or I'm safe, I'm not in America. No, you're wrong. Because once they cause that devastation on this side, what does that become on that side? Huh? Now, even though America may not get the hit, that other side is going to become a dictatorial run place. Because that person that's going to knock down is going to want to take the head and take the lead. And that's where you get the Antichrist that wants to be the one world religion, one world government, one world leader. Okay? That's where you get all that from. The guy that's going to exalt himself as God, and who's going to call himself God and say that he's better than God, or whatever the heck he's going to say. Okay? He's going to do that after he destroyed or killed millions, in fact, billions of people. Okay? So, check it.
is that its predecessor is in service in the Russian army, and it can accelerate to 3 kilometers per second. That's 3 to 4 times faster than the speed of a machine gun bullet. The new version, as experts believe, is capable of accelerating to 5.5 kilometers per second. It's also known that the upgraded missile defense system will have non-nuclear means of intercepting missiles. The new design will replace the old with more advanced onboard equipment installed. They also have new construction materials and engines that provide them with enhanced missile interception capability.
No, don't get this twisted. This is world calamity. This is world judgment, okay? This is tribulation falling upon the globe. So this isn't no place where, not unless God or Jesus or whoever's your higher authority guides you, you're not going to be safe. This is calamity coming upon the earth. That's why you're praying that you may be counted worthy to escape all these things that are coming upon the earth. Okay? Because in Matthew, I believe it was chapter 10. I'm not too sure, but in Matthew it says that the earth is going to pass away, the heavens and the earth. And then in the other part of the Bible, it also says that the earth and the heavens are reserved for fire. So, how would the earth and the heavens be reserved for fire? Less by thermonuclear destruction. Okay? So, there's not going to be no place that you can actually go. That's why you got to pray that you're counted worthy to not foresee these things. But we're seeing them. And I'm letting you know this stuff is happening. It's right here in front of you. So, where you gonna go? Oh, man. Hey, Tinky Winky. Tinky Winky. Excuse me. Did you have that name in 2012? Why would you care about what the heck I was doing in 2012? Hey, you know what? I wasn't doing this. Plain and simple. I wasn't telling you about a hypersonic nuclear device. In fact, Russia didn't have a hypersonic nuclear device in 2012. They would have told us, and then you would have had to worry back then. So, what does that matter? We're in 2019 now. Wake up. We got nuclear talks on the table. Why are you worried about what happened in 2012? If you don't like the stream, remove yourself. That's it.
The upgraded anti-missile, while maintaining the same mass dimensional characteristics, is actually a new product with increased range, speed, height, and effectiveness. It can easily intercept medium range and on a limited scale.
Holy God, I've never been on Bible TV. I don't know what you're talking about. And reporting from my channel is the best thing that I know how to do. You know what? If you don't like it, get off the stream. Plain and simple. I'm sure there's somebody talking about a video game in the playroom. You could go to their playroom stream and watch them talk about video games, or talk about their new couch set, or their living room, or watch them talk about their girl, or whatever the hell they're talking about. Go over there and watch that. Don't worry about what I was doing in 2012. Don't worry if I got fired from Bible TV. Don't worry about what I report from my house. Just go do whatever you're doing. Plain and simple. As for me, I'm going to tell you, watch, therefore, and pray always that you may be counted worthy to escape all these things that are to come to pass, and that you're able to stand before the Son of God. That's it.
Intercontinental ballistic missile warheads. Woo! According to experts, Russia is protecting itself from a so-called...
Get this. He pressed the button and it reacted. That's it. You know, back in the 50s, or when the nukes started coming out, remember it used to take like a long trail, like the thrusters were like mad slow, and you used to watch the thing rise from the silo, and you look up, you're like, wow. They don't have that chance here. As soon as he pressed the button, that thing is released. It's like a rat in a cage.
Product with increased range, speed, height, and effectiveness. It can easily intercept medium range and, on a limited scale, intercontinental ballistic missile warheads. According to experts, Russia is protecting itself from a so-called decapitating strike, effectively from...
Okay, so for all those that think America's going to strike first, if Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, is saying that he made sure that these devices were created so no debilitating strike happens to his country, and we got our president who's saying none of this stuff is real, it's all fake news, don't worry about it, nobody's gonna go to war, none of this stuff's gonna happen, how bad is it for the country? Huh? Where's our leadership, and who should we be praying to or worshiping? Okay? Because, like I said, I watched a stream the other day, and the guy was saying that we need to worship each other. This is bugged out. That's the point that we're at in this society. This guy said that we need to be starting to worship each other, because you're my God and I'm your God, and we can only save each other. That's what the guy told me. Meanwhile, when you die, you're going to have to answer to somebody. There's going to be a day of judgment, okay? So you're not going to judge yourself. I'm not going to judge you. You're not going to judge me. The Bible is telling us that our Father who art in heaven is going to come down and eventually judge us, okay?
Any form of aggression from countries with nuclear arsenals, including the USA. Analysts say when the country with the largest nuclear arsenal begins to tear up international agreements on armaments, this new Russian anti-missile system greatly contributes to an updated defense system and guarantees retribution for aggression.
It's the second time this week the U.S. Navy has accused Russian forces of dangerous maneuvers, and 2 days before major U.S. Navy and NATO war games are slated to begin in the Baltic Sea. The latest incident took place in the Philippine Sea. This video provided this morning by the U.S. Navy shows the Russian...
You know, thank you, Mr. Cullen. You took some whiskey for me. Take two. Take two, okay? Alpha, I'm not understanding what you're saying. What say your commander to this? What says your commander to this? What? Commander to what? Yeah, you know what? I feel like Terminator 2 was telling us, because remember, Skynet took over the nukes, and that's when Sarah Connor was in the playground with the kids, and the nuke went off. They didn't say that that was war. So what did James Cameron, the director of Terminator 2, see? Because he said that he had a dream, and the dream was so vivid that he felt like he had to put it in a movie. Okay? And if you go on YouTube and search the real director or the real producer of Matrix, she turned out to be the real producer. Yes, I said she. She turned out to be the real producer of Terminator. So when she made these things, she said it was kind of based off of the stuff that she was hearing and the stuff that she was reading. So if this is all fake, how is this happening? No, I am not in the army to be thankful, because you know what's bad about the army? If you're under me and I know that you're about to put your life on the line, or if I have somebody over me give me a command and I know that it's that risky and I'm over you, I can send your body. So is that a benefit to be in the army? And not to mention, if all the you got four countries looking to get away from you. You got Russia, you got the Koreans, you got Iran, and you got China. And yes, I said the Koreans, because if you think that South Korea won't change up their rhetoric if Kim Jong-un or North Korea decides to unleash a monstrous attack against them, you're sadly mistaken. You're sadly mistaken. So you got four countries, you got four nations. You got the Korean nation, you got the Iranian Arab nations, you got the Russian nation, and they're all not liking America. Now, just as America has allies, who's the allies of Russia? Because I remember seeing Putin shake hands with a few dignitarians from Africa and some small places over there on the eastern side. Because we're the Western civilization, right? That's the Eastern civilization. Western civilization is about to be totally obliterated. So the Eastern civilization is going to be thriving and pumping. But at that time, devastation is going to come upon the earth because, for one, America is a good place where you make a lot of economic value. Once that collapses, that's going to mess up the global system. That's where they're going to have to turn over to the digital currency. That's why over in Sweden, they already have like 4,000 people microchip with the implantable microchip so they can use digital currency. That's being set up on the other side, people. That's being set up on the other side. So if you are on the other side, you may actually see God come back. And the way you see God come back is going to be fearful. Don't think for a minute that he's coming back to bring peace upon the earth.
Destroyer.
He's not bringing peace upon the earth. He's come to bring a sword. That's what he said. Okay? Do some research. Read the Bible. Check it out. Okay?
Parts of the American guided missile cruiser. Both warship.
Nuke globe, not nation. I would say America would. No, in fact, because they're saying now Russia's ahead of America. So Russia got more of a nuclear arsenal or arsenal. Sorry. They got more of a nuclear arsenal than America, right? So, who's the real nuclear nation? Once they use, what would make world peace? Why would there be a one world religion, a one world government, and a one world ruler? At that point in time, we can't have this because there's two sides of the globe. This side would have to be annihilated. America would have to be wiped. Then whoever came up with that plan is going to exalt themselves on your side of the world. If you're over there in Germany or wherever you're at, and then they're going to say that they're God. So hopefully you don't worship them, because if you do, you're destined for flames. May the flames be with you, okay? But I'm letting you know that that's what's going to happen. The whole east side over there, the Eastern civilization is going to join together. There's going to be pretty much like world peace because there's nobody to shoot nukes at. Who are we going to shoot nukes at now? We're all on one side of the planet. I'm not going to. That's when they decide to want to turn their guns supposedly against Israel. That's what they said. That's what the Bible says. Then after they take out Israel's protector, Babylon, America, once they don't have that many nukes, now everybody could target Israel. Okay? But it's pretty much world peace at that point, because the only bully that you have now is Israel. That's where everybody could go and thwart and try to bomb and devastate that place. Okay?
Armed with missiles and large naval guns. As she.
Yo, you know what? You know what's crazy? Because somebody said, where was this guy in 2012? Yeah, there you go. Tinky Wink. Hey, you know what's crazy? Why is it now that nations that didn't have nukes now have nukes? What's up with that? Huh? I hear India got nukes. They're trying to get a nuclear program up. You got Iran that want to get their nukes up. Why? If this was back in 2012, if this was all just some doomsday prophet garbage, why is this happening now? Huh? Anybody? Somebody tell me. Is this because I made this happen? Is it because I'm crazy enough to make the Bible work? Huh? What's up?
U.S. Navy and NATO war games are slated to begin in the Baltic Sea.
I'm not, because I haven't gotten you to buy any of my BS. How am I a great salesman if you're not buying anything that I'm trying to tell you? That don't make any sense. Oh, you know what? a lot of these people don't know what's in the arsenal. That's how come we got this term called secret weapons. And yeah, that's my secret weapon. All kinds of crazy stuff. Yeah, they probably not giving out how many they actually have in the arsenal. But you know what? Just to know they got one is good enough for me. Hey, you better watch out for them Switzerlands. Them Swiss people got the microchip. So if you got your Swiss Army knife just in case, you better make sure you got aim for the hand or aim for the head, because the microchip's gonna be in the right hand or the forehead. So these people at some point are gonna be saying, "Yo, put it in my forehead," and if you don't have one, you will be subjected to penalization, legal penalization. In fact, in some cases, maybe even beheading. Okay. Yep, India has a nuke, Pakistan. No, don't tell me. In fact, thank you for putting it in the chat. Hey, Tinky Wink, explain that. Huh? Tell me why India and Pakistan have nuclear devices. Why are we now talking about nuclear exchange? And in 2012, we were talking about the Mayan calendar and an asteroid falling or earthquake. Huh? Why are we talking about war? You dang right it makes sense. I ain't hear. What do you think I made this stream for? You think I came, hey, let me do a dumb stream and talk about some popcorn? Or hey, I got a little teddy bear here. I'm going to do a stream on this thing tomorrow, okay? I'm going to do some stream on some garbage that doesn't make any sense, okay? That's what. No. I'm trying to let y'all know that we should be doing just like the Bible says in Luke chapter 21 verse 36, and we should be watching therefore and praying always that we're counted, that we may be, it's not definite, it's maybe, we may be counted worthy to escape all these things that come to pass. That's what I'm here to tell you. That's it. There's people that say God don't exist. There's people that say the Bible's not real or the Bible's man-made. I want to know how these prophecies are happening then. Why is this stuff coming to pass if this is all make-believe? And then you got people saying, oh, this is fake news. This ain't real. Well, to the army and to the military, it is real. So what's going on there? Huh?
That took place in the Philippines.
Wait. Why is it up to only me? Why is it up to only me? You're your own personal soul. The Bible also says, seek out your own salvation through fear and trembling. Okay? You can go make a stream too. Alpha, nobody's stopping you. Hey, not once have nobody seen my face. And I still get persecuted. I still get ridiculed. So I already know if I did put my face, somebody would probably say some more retarded stuff. Hey, now we get to see the madman. Yeah, he looks crazy. He looks mad. Yeah. Just off of me put my hand, they say some racist stuff. So, hey, you know what? I'm good, okay? I'm going to just keep sitting here. The message is more important than the look, okay? Now, if you don't believe in God, may the flames be with you. Plain and simple. But me personally, I think that a lot more people need to start talking about this. If you go, leave my stream now, go to live from PlayStation, go to search, put in PL. You ain't even got to put in Playroom. Go to PL, search down, go to Playroom, and see what people are streaming about. Plain and simple. That's where we're at. So, if nobody's taking this serious, don't take it serious.
This video provided this morning by the U.S. Navy shows the Russian destroyer within yards of the American guided missile cruiser, both warships armed with missiles and large naval guns. As she...
Whoa! Excuse me. If I've been binge watching Terminator one too many times, right? Why is this happening? Are they binge watching too? Because this is on Fox. I showed you the and if you didn't see all the stream, I'm not going back to rewind it. I already rewound it once for another person. Okay? Go to YouTube, type in John Cage, Mark of the Beast, and go to the stream and watch from the beginning. Okay? If you think that I'm watching Terminator or I'm binge watching a movie, tell me why Fox News, CBS, and Russia Today is telling me all three of the same things that I'm telling you. Huh? Why is that? Oh, wait. Wait, you got a problem with me saying may the flames be with you? Yo, hey, if they refuse to accept God, God's gonna put them in the lake of fire. That's what I'm saying. May the flames be with you. You're inheriting flames. You inherited the second death when you decided to say that I'm just making BS. All I'm telling you is that we should be hoping for a life outside of this one. We should be hoping that after the devastation that there's truly a kingdom of God that comes down to this earth and cleanse this place. That's all that I'm saying. So why do you think that I'm trying to control anybody or that I've been binge watching a movie? Huh? May God give you the power to stop false advertising so that the so-called end of the world. Bless you. Thank you. Okay, if you think that I'm false advertising the end of the world, you have to realize or take into consideration the fact that I didn't make none of these news segments. I didn't pay none of these news reporters to come in and do this job or read this article. And that's one. For two, they had to have footage in order for them to put up on their news broadcast or their news segment in order for them to show you what aligns with the story. So if you think that I'm advertising anything, remove yourself, please, because I'm not trying to advertise nothing to somebody that doesn't need to be advertised to, and I'm not trying to judge nobody that doesn't need to be judged. So remove yourself. If you think that I'm bugged out or crazy, there you go. Go ahead. 3 Chinese warships pulled into Sydney. Hey, that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I'm trying. Thank you, Mr. Cullen. In fact, thank all of you that actually rebuttal these people that's trying to tell me that I'm false advertising the end of the world. The Bible says that the heavens and the earth will pass away before the words that he spoke will pass away. The words that he spoke will not pass away. It's not, oh, God said that there's going to be a mark of the beast. Oh, there's no mark of the beast. No. There's a mark of the beast. Plain and simple. If he said that there's going to be war and devastation, if he said that those people that take the mark of the beast are going to be going through sores and grievances and they're going to be suffering, they're going to be suffering. You can see them right now. They're all happy and swiping their hands and stuff, but you don't know what's going to come upon the earth. Tribulation and judgment is coming upon the earth. So if you think that I'm advertising, promoting the end of the world, you're totally wrong. And for your sake, I hope you get it right. But what I'm promoting here on this station is the kingdom of God is coming after the apocalypse. And if you want to be out of the apocalypse, you need to actually do what they said in Luke chapter 21, verse 36, which says, watch. Watch for the prophecies. Watch for the end times. Watch for the end of the world. And pray always that you may be. It's not definite. You can't sit there and say, oh, well, I prayed to God and he didn't answer. No, it said pray always that you may be. So you could pray always, and that's still not going to define that you're going to be saved. But you pray always with the hope that you're going to be saved. You pray always that you may be counted worthy to escape these things that are to come to pass. That's it. So if you think, bless you, if you think that I'm sitting here trying to advertise the end of the world for some means, remove yourself. I'm just trying to let everyone know. I have not asked. You can look on my stream. You can look anywhere on this page. I have not asked for donation. I do not have no Patreon, no PayPal, no Cash App. I'm not asking for none of that. I barely asked you for your time. I thank God that you're here, because you're here for a reason. But I have not bothered anybody. I'm showing you where we're at, okay? Where we stand. And if you had any sense, you would either subscribe to see if I'm going to come back on, or you would do your own research. You don't have to subscribe to me. That's the most I ask. I say, okay, like and subscribe. If you say, oh no, this guy's nuts, then do your own thing. Keep walking around in ignorance. Be blissful, okay? But for those that actually care, my name on YouTube is John Cage, Mark of the Beast. And then you're going to get to my page, and then you can like it. Or you can go to this guy's page. His name is The Watchman. He puts up a whole bunch of stuff. He has way more of a catalog than I do, okay? You'll learn way more, whole bunch of stuff. And if you don't want to learn from him, you got a little more funnier guy on the other side that actually watches TV shows and movies, and he sees where we're going to, and his name is A Call for an Uprising, okay? So there's people out there, and me, The Watchman, A Call for an Uprising, we don't show our faces. We're sitting here, we're trying to talk to you people. Hey, wake up. How come no one's doing streams on this? This should be told to people, okay? We should be making sure we get right with God, because a lot of people believe God don't exist. We're taught in this new reality, God don't exist. But it's okay for a transsexual to go into a bathroom with another child. Why is that, huh? Tell me that.
Sailed past the American cruiser today in what U.S. officials are describing as a highly dangerous maneuver. Russian sailors could be seen sunbathing on the flight deck.
No. You ain't gonna come to my stream telling me how to do this. We cool, Mr. Cullen. I understand and all, but you know what? Tell me that. Why are we okay with transsexuals entering the bathroom with toddlers? Huh? Can you tell me that? Since everybody wants to type so damn quick, and everybody wants to control, and this is true, God's upset. No. Plain and simple, why isn't anyone talking about this? How come we got all these other streams going on, and these other people talking about BS in the background, like their couch or the new video game coming out, but nobody cares about this goddamn war that's about to pop off? For one. For two, it's a hypersonic missile. Huh? What's wrong with that?
American adversaries. In a written statement, the Navy...
I'm going back. You go check this out. Got some nerve. What? Nobody saying nothing about this?
We have been reporting here on the news with Rick Sanchez this week about a new space race that is creating a crowded field, including countries like India and Israel joining the United States and China. It's kind of a scary proposition that is causing Russia, it says, to create new anti-ballistic missiles to protect it from any incoming attack, even attacks, for example, from space.
Like I said, greed and racism. Racism and greed, okay? That's how we got to this point. This is greed. This is greed, definitely greed, because if you know that somebody has a bigger gun than you, and they're constantly threatening you, you're going to be like, why are you threatening me? For one, you're going to instantly connect it with hatred. But then you're going to want to go out and get either a big... You know what? In poor people terms, in regular people terms, you're going to move away from that person. You're going to say, you know what? That person's too negative for me. I'm not going to be around them. But on a global standpoint, when you can't move the continent and you're the president, what do? Out of your greed, you say, no, we got to make something bigger and better, okay? So, plain and simple, who's making these goddamn devices? It's not the dude on the corner. It's not the dude talking about he's trying to take your wife. It's not the dude rapping about shooting his other genetic copy. It's not those. It's a bunch of people that's sitting up there building nuclear devices to devastate the earth, all off of hatred and greed. So that's why judgment is coming upon the earth. Are we going to blame Christ? Are we going to blame Jesus for somebody pressing a nuclear device? Huh? Or are we going to sit there and hold that person accountable and say, yo, what the hell was you thinking?
Question. How fast is this new Russian missile?
If you like the channel, please comment, subscribe, go to YouTube. My name on YouTube, go in the search bar, put in John Cage, the Mark of the Beast. Subscribe there whenever you get the chance. But check this out. This thing's moving at 9 times the speed of sound.
Did you see that? Neither did I. You know why? It's so fast, even the photographers don't seem to be able to follow this thing. Apparently, it's 9 times the speed of sound.
Whoa, buddy. Whoa, buddy. This ain't CNN. Hold up. Wait, right here. Okay, right here. Look, check. Right here. You see it? RT. That's Russia today. Russia's doing propaganda on their new hypersonic intercepting missile. That's their propaganda. They're propagating that they have a missile that's hypersonic. Okay? So if you think that this is fake, if you think that this is BS, then you're out of your mind. Okay? I'm just letting you know that God said, Jesus said that he shall come as a thief in the night, for no man shall know the time or the hour. Okay? And if you knew that the thief was coming, you would hide your goods. You would set up and get prepared for the thief. How many of these people got underground bunkers? And if they knew that we was at war, they would be in their underground bunker right now. No, they're sitting there saying, nah, it's a beautiful day. It's a nice day. Hey, when did the World Trade Center get hit? At 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning, right? And it was a beautiful day. Everybody was like, we're going to work. That's when the devastation hits. That's when you hear a whole bunch of people saying, oh my God, Jesus Christ, Jesus. What are you talking about? Huh? So just in case, just in case, if you're not up to the stream, remove yourself. Plain and simple. I've seen so many people remove themselves. It's a beautiful thing almost. But that's where we're at, okay? So if you don't think that God's coming, you don't think that God's real, then you don't have to be here. Plain and simple.
Russian missile. Did you see that? Neither did I. You know why? It's so fast, even the photographers don't seem to be able to follow this thing. Apparently, it's 9 times the speed of sound. Here now with more is RT correspondent Yulia Shapovalova.
Yet another test of the
Yo, that name gets me all the time, yo. Yulia Shapovalova. Yo, but you know what? She's behind that goddamn missile.
Yet another test of the anti-missile 53T6M as part of a program to modernize Russia's central area's defense systems, especially its industrial districts. Features of the new anti-missile are kept secret by the military. What is known, though, is that its predecessor is in service in the Russian army and it can accelerate to 3 kilometers per second. That's 3 to 4 times faster than the speed of a machine gun bullet.
3 to 4 times faster than a machine gun bullet. Okay? So if you don't believe, may the flames be with you. Okay? The flames of the nuclear device that's detonated, the flames of the lake of fire, may the flames be with you if you don't believe in God. Because you're not going to get yourself right. You're going to constantly think that you're on the right path of doing whatever you're doing, and you're going down the wrong path. You need to start watching, therefore, and praying always that you may be counted worthy to escape all the things that are to come to pass. And then that's why you read the Bible, because then you're like, well, what's to come to pass? I don't know what's to come to pass. Well, that's where you would read Revelations. Anything after I would say it begins around Revelations, the 14th chapter. Okay? at the end of Revelations 13 chapter. I would say you should start reading like at Revelations 13 through 16, and then try to clear out the rest of Revelations. Just read on through. Just check and see what's happening after that stuff, okay? Oh, so now the footage is sped up, right? So now we're speeding up the footage. So you think that this is communist propaganda, right? Well, let me hit you with something. CBS is talking about it. Fox News is talking about it. So now that's all the way over here. Okay? This is Russia Today. Russia Today has a headquarters in New York, and they have one in Russia. So, and you can also check on Al Jazeera. Don't tell me that you think that this is so sped up and you haven't done your own research. Plain and simple. If you think that I'm going crazy and you're thinking that missile was being sped up just for your sake, or just to trick people into thinking
as experts believe,
hold on. Just in case you think that the person who did this, that's crazy. Hold on. He said that this was this was sped up. Now, for months they've been talking about a hypersonic nuclear device. They're actually letting you see it, and when you see it, you say that it's sped up. So, is everything fake news at this point? Is everything that we watch now fake news? And then who came out with this fake news stuff? Because before it was fake news, just like Mr. Cullen said in here, he was the first one. It was propaganda. So now it went from propaganda. I guess the masses got too dumb to say propaganda anymore. So now everybody says fake news, fake news. That was sped up, fake news. No, they was talking about a hypersonic missile for at least a good 6 months now. Now they actually showing us how one gets released from the silo. So I'm gonna go with this. And if you haven't done any research, you haven't seen it on Al Jazeera, you haven't checked out any news, then you're not watching.
Of a machine gun bullet, the new version.
You're not watching, therefore you're not praying. Yeah, you see that? You see that? If you're not watching, therefore you're not praying. It says watch, therefore pray always. Well, if you're not watching, then you're not praying.
Question. How fast is this new Russian missile? Did you see that? Neither did I. You know?
Okay. Now for my actual subs, my actual followers, does this actually look like it's sped up? Because to me it doesn't. I could be wrong, but you know what? I'm pretty sure a troll's gonna sit there and say, nah, that's sped up. Okay, if that's sped up, for what purpose? Huh? To show you that you gotta give a second thought on life? What would be the purpose of this propaganda?
Why? It's so fast, even the photographers don't seem to be able to follow this thing. Apparently it's 9 times the speed of sound. Here now with more is...
I feel like people that say fake news, they could get punched in the face, or they could have their significant other cheat on them right in front of their face, and they wouldn't believe it. They would still say, nah, that's fake news, or that's not real. Because if this is happening and this looks pretty real, what would be the purpose of making it fake news? It's not telling you to go out there and buy an underground bunker. It's not telling you to buy a lead tent. It's not telling you to go stockpile food. It's just telling you that they have a hypersonic nuclear device. Okay? They're telling you that they're getting prepared for a nuclear exchange. So why would this be fake news? To whose benefit? Because fake news is usually benefiting the government or whoever's telling the fake news. Okay? That's like remember hearing that slogan, lying on your eggplant? Somebody will say, yo, I smashed that. She did that with me. And this is just to their benefit. You see what I mean? That's their propaganda. That's the person that made their propaganda. You say, hey, I got a lot of money in my account, and everybody knows you're broke, but just to make yourself look good, you're going to say, I got a lot of money. Well, what's the benefit of Russia telling us they have a hypersonic missile? What's that? So we don't exchange nukes with them? We already, Trump already pulled out of the nuclear treaty. So to what benefit is this? If this is propaganda.
RT correspondent Yulia Shapovalova.
Yet another test of the anti-missile 53T-6M as part of a program to modernize Russia's central area's defense systems.
To scare non-communists to do what? There's gay people out there on the street, and they know that they feel like they're the new blacks. They feel like they feel gay people are the new black, and anything can happen to them. So if they feel like the new blacks, for one, there should be another gang member, or there should be an alternative gay gang that's just shooting them. That's shooting gays because they don't like the way they look. Then the cops should also be shooting the gays, and we should have a new slogan called Gay Lives Matter. And then, not to mention, you see what I mean? Where I'm going with that is, just because they come out and they say we got a nuke and it's hypersonic, how does that scare the non-communists? Especially after the leader of the non-communists pulled out of the nuclear treaty with them. How is that going to scare us? What are we going to say, huh?
Especially its industrial district. Features of the new anti-missile are kept.
Well, I hate to burst your bubble, Mr. Eric, but it's more than communists that produce propaganda. Because I just heard in here that somebody just said that America promotes propaganda as well. So what's up with that? Thank you. Yo, said bro, how you been, man? I hope all is well with you, brother. Thank you, bro. Tell them, yo, man, the clouds would be moving crazy. Anyway, yo, God bless you, said. I hope everything's well with you, brother. I like to see what's up in Chi-Town. Hey, man, I hope them people in Chi-Town get their stuff together. Gay Lives Matter protest missile launch. Hey, hey, you know what? You never know what's gonna happen here. Yeah, boom, up a room. Boom, up a room. No more gays. Hey, you know what? Hey, you got to think. Before I would say, before the legalization of homosexuality or same-sex marriage that was done under Barack Obama's term, or under his reign of terror, okay, that was us as a nation separating us from God. Because if you go into Leviticus 20 and 13, it says that we're not to be laying in bed with mankind, because that's an abomination to God. So God really hates homosexuals, bro. He really hates them, to the point that that's deserving of death. I don't know where all these new churches, that's what I'm saying. If you go to your local church, ask them if they're saved. If they sit there and say, yes, I'm saved under the blood of the Lamb, I'm saved under Jesus Christ, then you recite to them, well, what about Luke chapter 21, verse 36? Why are we to pray always that we're saved from these things that's about to come upon the earth? But back to what I'm saying. Before Barack Obama okayed legislation for same-sex marriages, everything was moving at like a slow pace. But once he did that, then we started seeing Caitlyn Jenner, or Bruce Jenner, transform himself into Caitlyn Jenner, and then the whole deterioration began. because then that's when you have people protesting the fact that, well, I'm not a transsexual, but I feel like a woman on some days, and I don't know whether to go into the men's bathroom or the female's bathroom. And then we was like, oh, well, you could go into both. And you're like, well, why would you let a man that's not even sure about their sexuality, who wears women's clothes, into a bathroom, a restroom with a toddler, a little girl who's 2 years old, and this guy said, hey, you know what? I'm here by myself. She's in the next stall, and I'm starting to feel like a man again. My penis is getting hard, or I'm gonna go into the next stall with the child. Whoa! Do you see? So where we're at right now is, since we okayed a lot of things, we became tolerant of a lot of things, God is mad, and judgment is about to fall upon the earth. First, it's going to hit Babylon, America, greatly, to the point that no stone is left standing, no soul will be left standing, okay? This place is going to be wiped in 1 hour. From that destruction, a man is going to come out proclaiming that he's God and that he did that, okay? That will be the one world leader who will rule the one world government, which will have control over the one world religion. Now, how would it be one world if America is already over here on this side? This side would have to be obliterated, and they would have had to unify the whole other side of the globe. Do you understand? That's how it became one world leader, one world government.
Secret by the military. What is known, though, is that its predecessor is in service in the Russian army, and it can accelerate to 3 kilometers per second. That's 3 to 4.
Oh no, yo, Aaron, I ain't gonna get at you. You know what? I feel like that too. Sexuality and technology does go hand in hand, because those are both things that were tools to separate us from our connection with God. Once you have sex or sexuality, you're more engulfed with the person that you release that energy to. All right? Technology, you see how technology takes over the average person. They can't get away from their phone. Or some people be binge playing video games for like 30 hours. Or some people be doing streams for 8 hours. Whatever. You see what I mean? Like, I keep looking up at my time. I know I did like 3.5, and I got to get off soon because I got to go deal with my daughter. She's sitting here reading a book. She's here. Everybody's okay on this end. But at the same time, I don't want to be on technology. You see what I mean? I love interacting with y'all, and I love the fact that y'all are following me and that I got subs. But this new stuff,
Couldn't understand.
Look, you see that? You see that? Now there's microphones on the remote. Yo, technology has taken over. Technology has become its new own AI, new own artificial intelligence. And with that, now we're creating a demon. We're creating a new source. Okay?
Times faster than the speed of a machine gun bullet.
Who was sleeping in bed and had a dream and said, dang, I wish I knew how to build a missile that can destroy a continent? Who was thinking like that? Who put that thought in that person's head? And then for them to actually carry out that act, they didn't get assassinated, they didn't get sniped, they didn't catch a heart attack. Nothing bad happened to them. Do we blame Jesus? Do we blame God for actually doing that? Huh? Or do we blame the person that put their hands to the molding and did what they did? Now, what I would say is God gave them that idea. I would say God allowed them to do so, because he could have stopped it at any time. But no, this is a part of the judgments. This is a judgment that's about to befall the land, because you okayed homosexuality, because you okayed being greedy. Being greedy is levels, it's many levels of greed. Like, you can have enough money to get you out of crimes. You could be greedy enough to buy a Lamborghini that goes 250 miles an hour and the road restricts you to only 50 to 60 miles an hour, or you can be greedy to the point that you want to rule all the resources. You see what I mean? Like, there's different reasons for the judgments that's about to befall this place, and this is one of the things that's going to befall. Now, after that, then on the other side of the globe, for doing that destruction, they're going to have to pay. That was billions of lives, bro. Are you understanding? If America is wiped in 1 hour, do you know how many souls will be banging on the door? And they're going to be like, whoa, what are they all doing here? There was a devastation downstairs. Oh, okay. Well, now we got to go clean up. We got to go see who caused that devastation upon the land, and we must remove them from the planet, because I put people on the planet and I put creatures on the planet to live, not to be destroyed, not to be eradicated by a thermonuclear device. Okay? So once that happens, judgment will proceed.
Version, as experts believe, is capable of accelerating to 5.5 kilometers per second. It's also known that the upgraded missile defense system will have non-nuclear means of intercepting missiles. The new design will replace the old with more advanced onboard equipment installed there.
Hey, you know what? Hey, Troy, you're not too far. That was a smart person, because they didn't know how bad it was going to get. But God knew, and God knew he was going to have to use it later on. And guess what? That's where it came in. So you know what? You're totally right. That was a smart person at the end of the day. Hey, you know what? It don't matter if Germany did think it up first. You know what? Everybody's advancing it. Everybody's making it better. Okay? We haven't really evolved. Okay, we haven't really evolved. We just monkeys looking in phones. My problem with that, J-Mo, is if we're monkeys, how come the monkeys aren't turning into us? Because I'm constantly hearing about evolution and God don't exist, but I have yet to see a great ape turn into a man. Where's the great apes? The great apes and the silverbacks, they're still sitting there peeling lice off of each other's backs. Okay? So I don't want to hear about that evolution stuff. Unless we actually start seeing something evolve or turn into something different, then we can start saying, hey, you know, moths evolve from butterflies. Okay? That's when I want to see something. Until then, I can't believe that we're just monkeys. Because, yeah, a few of us may have tails, but I know personally I stand upright and my thumb isn't appendage. My toes can't grab cups like a monkey's can. Okay? There's different types of monkeys and apes, and then you got people. And I have yet to see a person grab a cup with their foot. So, yeah. Oh, okay. Evolution takes millions of years, but creation has been on the planet for 1 million years. How come we're not still seeing things evolve? Huh? How come you haven't seen a person evolve without fingernails? Get that. Tell me what person doesn't need fingernails, and since fingernails are like kind of a useless appendage on the human body, how come you haven't had somebody evolve without fingernails? Tell me that one, please. I'll be waiting. I'm still waiting. Okay? It's a slow process. It takes millions of years. Well, we've done seen generations of families pass down wills and pass down different what relics or this was passed down from my grandmother, and I'm giving it to you, and I'm passing down this company to my grandson. So over different generations, you're telling me that there's still no evolution. Everybody's still the same, right? Okay, that's where you lost me. That's where I'm a little lost. Well, hey man, hey Troy, if you're still using your fingernails to break up bud, dude, I'm gonna let you know there's grinders out there, okay? And what about the people that don't use their fingernails to break up bud? They use scissors, or they actually use a grinder. What about those people? Or what about the people that don't smoke bud and they don't use their fingernails? What about that, huh? Butterfly metamorphosis. It's not hey. The butterfly. So you feel the butterfly evolved into, you feel the caterpillar evolved into the butterfly. I feel that it grew, because that's what it was doing the whole time. Obviously, it had to have the wings inside of it, and in order for it to evolve, it would have had been born with the wings. How come we're still seeing caterpillars wrap themselves in the cocoons and then come out of the cocoon as a butterfly? Okay, I'm waiting for that one too. Okay, because just like you said, using the butterfly metaphor, why aren't caterpillars just born with wings? That because they know that they need them. They know that that's the evolution process. So to beat the whole cocooning process so they can keep eating, why not just be born with wings? Just saying. Just saying. It's a metamorphic process is what I meant. Hey, you know what? If that's how you believe it, bro, I'm not here to deter you. All I'm here to say is, watch therefore and pray always, that you may be counted worthy to escape these things that are about to come. That's all I can tell you, bro. I can't tell you, oh well, this is why the tree evolved the third branch, or this is why the tree can grow apples and oranges. I can't tell you that. I can tell you that this stuff is actually happening. I can tell you that they have nuclear talks on the table. I can tell you that God exists because the prophecies are now enacting. So, if you don't believe it, I can't force you to. I'm not trying to force you to. I hope at the end of this stream that you do understand what I'm saying. But actually, it's been 3 hours and 34 minutes, about to be 35 minutes. I feel like that I've spread enough. If you want to watch any more of my streams, please come on YouTube, go in the search bar and type in John Cage, Mark of the Beast, follow and subscribe. And if you don't want to watch me, check out this man. He has beautiful content. He's always doing his homework. This guy right here, The Watchman. Check him out. He's always got good videos. And check out A Call for an Uprising. Check those two. If you don't want to sub to me, sub to them. And check out what they're saying. And eventually you may want to come and subscribe to me. Check it out though. Either way, I greatly appreciate all of y'all that's been here, who've been sitting here listening and checking out. I hope to God that you actually get a personal connection with him. And in fact, I want to close this stream out with a prayer. I'm going to close the stream out with the Lord's Prayer. Okay? Oh, you know what? Yeah. Yo, peace, Troy. I hope to see you again, brother. Hope everything goes good. Yeah, do the research about the fingernails. No problem. Anyway, our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us for our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For the kingdom and the power and the glory is yours forever and ever. Amen. I truly love every one of y'all that stayed here and watched the stream with me. I truly hope that you like and subscribe. We're in the last days, people. I don't know what else to tell you. Like I said, I'm very appreciative that y'all came. Y'all sitting here. Y'all listen to the stream. Do whatever research you need to do. But always remember, Luke chapter 21, verse 36. Watch, therefore, pray always, that you may be counted worthy to escape all these things that are to come to pass, and that you're able to stand before the Son of Man with great glory. God bless you.